previously, right? And for many of them, this might be the first or second or third opportunity to just get to show their stuff. So we're excited to just have them here.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting. We'll kind of get into that a little bit. It's just like, from a racing perspective, this is like a rust buster, right? Like, people are not super fine-tuned to race. And they've been training, and their periodized training might not be exactly where they want to be, but there's an opportunity to race. So I think it's we're trying to make the best out of 2020, and some people have some opportunity to do it tonight.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing a real mashup. You're seeing folks who be trained, high schoolers who are usually in cross-country season, going for NXN or Foot Locker.
Yeah.
You're seeing collegiate athletes just on pause.
Yeah.
And then you're seeing the local elites of New York City really come out in full force and really celebrate track, because that's available to them in a way that road racing is not.
Yeah, it's a full field of high school athletes and really studs.
Yeah.
And you said collegiate studs and pro athletes and semi-pros and local elites that are going to be racing tonight and really throwing down some fast times. I think we have our friend Matt Vosberg from Bakline. He's going to come over here.
Come on down.
I'm going to step off and Nick, please introduce Matt.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hi, Matt. I know you are our title sponsor today.
Indeed.
For the Big City Invitational. So we'd love to learn a little bit more about Bakline and your work and how the organization and company got started.
Yeah. So Bakline started in 2008, actually.
Oh.
But the running line. Oops, sorry, hold on.
Gotta get him a shot here.
I know. I didn't want to get too close.
Yeah, I know. We're doing the
But we've got our masks on. So Bakline started in 2008, but the running line really started 3 years ago, and it's been really a hell of a ride since then. I've been involved in running my whole life. We actually have roots in rugby, so kind of made a bit of a pivot. Kind of like going from short distance to long distance. And so, when we changed up and went into the running space, we really brought with us a lot of the things that we learned from the rugby side of things, but did it, and we've just continued to pour in our passion into the company, trying to produce things that really what it is that we've been wanting to do is really help get more people into the sport. One of our first designs was Find Your Starting Line as kind of an answer to the there is no finish line. Mm-hmm. Some people aren't even at the starting line, and we need to get more people in and make sure that everybody feels like they've got a space in the sport.
Yeah, it's a very purposeful driven company, which is why I like it. I love the shirt, which I'm going to fix right now. There is no, the future is female coaches. I was a female coach myself, and the really low rates of female coaches, I heavily identify with it, and I was just super jazzed to get to wear it. Talk a little bit about the mission-driven purpose of this company.
Yeah, so so much of what we've done is work with local organizations and particularly with the Features Female Coaches. It started with the Features Female Runners. Again, really part of that message of making sure that everybody feels like they have a space in this sport and a role in this sport. And over the last couple of years in particular, the female running scene, I think a lot of people have continued to be inspired by people like Shalane and Des Linden and so many of these big names who are excelling at the sport well into their years, and it's really showing people that they not only have a space, but they're operating at this elite level, and hopefully that's just bringing more and more people in. But the female coaches design, that's something that we've been working on we've had for a long time. We work with We Coach, which is an amazing organization, developing collegiate coaches, female coaches. And so actually a portion of every tee and hoodie that is sold goes directly to them. And then just as part of the broader general purpose of the company, every month we partner with an organization and we put 10% of our sales to a different organization each month. And we are making sure that it's a diverse group of organizations that we're working with, both running related and non-running related. And usually the non-running related are ones that are in our backyard, right? So like South Brooklyn Mutual Aid is a big one that we just worked with.
Yeah, it's a great organization. Yeah. And they do have runners. I actually know them through runners.
Yeah, yes.
So that's just sort of a funny, the world is very small in New York City.
It is very small, yes.
All right. Well, we're going to keep you on because I do want to talk a little bit more because I'm really in love with my clothing right now. But I think we are going to turn and pivot to the track and get started for the men's 5K. And we are off. And this is going to be a fantastic race for us tonight. You know, this is the first opportunity for a lot of athletes to race, and though they are typically on a dirt cross-country course, today we have them on a blue track. And so we have Daniel Wynn, who is a very popular local pro competitor, and he is doing the fantastic job of pacing today. So he will be taking them through the first part of the race.
Yeah, and let's take a look at the field tonight. We have a really, really incredible field led by Aaron Denzio from New England Distance. He's entering the competition as the top seed and the only man to break 14, although we have a bunch of different athletes who have been very, very close.
But he has plenty of competition with D2 national champion and XC champ from 2019, Ezra Mutai, with American International, John Blade from New York Athletic Club, former Canadian junior 5K record holder, Ibram Akadir from LaSalle. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm just running a list now. Thomas Slattery, Fordham class of 2020, and Ryan Renkin from UPenn. They will all look to challenge Aaron up front.
And I think we're going to have some really mid-pack action because we've got a Connecticut high school junior, Aiden Puffer. He's going to be looking to build. He ran 14:25 3 weeks ago, and he is looking to break the Connecticut state record of 14:16.61 set by Alex Osberg back in 2015. So a lot of really fun action tonight and some really fast runners. I mean, people that have run 14 flat, 4 flat for the mile, 8 low, 8, breaking 8, or 8 for the 3K. So I'm sorry, I've missed a few splits here, but I'm going to get to the splits by Daniel Wynn. All right, so he is coming up at 2:12. Okay, we got 2:12 on, sorry, 4:24 pace. Pretty quick.
I was going to say.
Pretty quick. 4:24 pace, you're looking at, yeah, like 13:45 almost.
Let John do some math here. And you can see the pack is already starting to separate, right?
Yeah.
Daniel's obviously been given some instructions about what they're going out in rabbits. The role of the rabbit is to actually execute like a metronome. It's actually very exhausting to do.
Yeah.
And you have to be very precise in it. So everyone behind him knows what he's going for, and it is with great intent that this is happening.
Yeah, and in this pack, right behind Daniel Wynn, the pacer, you've got Ryan Gallagher with a PR of 14:17, Ryan Rankin with a PR of 14:09. I didn't catch the other hip numbers up front, but Wynn doing a really good job pacing, and they're just trailing a little bit off the back here.
Packs on this track, and it's amazing to see that there's really no one on the Icon infield, and this is very rare for an Icon race, that it's completely empty around them, and so they're having to generate all the intensity and interest in this entire race alone. Okay, they get one photographer, maybe 2 photographers, but that's about it.
Yeah, and Wynn coming through about 3:17 approximately for the 1200, so still on pace for 4:24 through the mile, really fast out front. So let's see, we've got Ibrahim Kadir in that front pack.
All right.
Currently, high schooler Aiden Puffer from Connecticut, looking to build on his 14:25 PR from 3 weeks back.
All right, and so as our athletes are continuing to go around, do you want to give us a split? I thought you were going to give us a split.
No, we don't have a split yet.
You look like a man who was about to give me a split. I was going to like. We start to see a little separation, and you really hope that the whole pack goes with him. That is when the moment of the race happens, where they know they're going to close this up, because there is no coming back from it if a gap forms in a 5K of this speed.
Yep, and that was another 68 coming through at about 4:25 on the mile, and Ryan Rankin just falling right behind, tightly behind Daniel Wynn.
All right, and so as the 5K is going around the track for a couple times, I have 1 or 2 more questions for Matt, and he is going to be our background noise during this time.
Hello again.
And so my question is, where is Bakline going in the future? What should we look out for this company?
A huge part of our direction in terms of where we're taking things is to increase our performance wear. So we now have singlets and crops for men and women. We can do working with clubs to do their kits, and so we're starting to work with a lot of local clubs now. We'd love to, if anybody is listening and watching and would like to get some custom gear for them, that's something that we can now do and have a lot of great capabilities for to customize things. We also have an in-house designer that can do and work on designs with your club to really give you something unique that's not otherwise out there. And so I think that's a great capability that, when we looked out across all of our competitors, even the big ones, that's really just not something that you see, particularly with a brand that will help you with the design itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in the New York City market where everyone wants to look pretty sharp. That's important for how they
Indeed.
look.
Yeah, I mean, anywhere. Yeah, it's I think people care about fit, they care about quality, and those two things came first. We, one of the really important things, particularly for the women's singlet, was what we heard from a lot of competitors, from peers talking about our competitors, is that particularly the women's singlets, they weren't necessarily size inclusive, and that was something that we really cared about. We probably went back and forth on our women's singlet, tailoring it 7, 8, 9 times to really get it right, and it's something that we're really proud of to offer to the women, to the female community, as something that this isn't just like a men's singlet that we made slightly smaller. This is something that was specifically designed to be size inclusive, and I think that's something that we're really proud of.
All right, and so for my last question at home, if there are folks at home looking to get some great gear and support a local company, how can they do it this week? It might be the right time for them to do it, and why is that?
Yes, we would absolutely love your support. We're a small business, but we love doing stuff like this. We really want to bring spark joy in the community, so to speak. This week, you can use the code Big City Invitational, the name of the event. That's Big City Invitational for 15% off. We often have promos going on, so follow us on Instagram at Bakline Running. Again, we'd really appreciate it. Reach out to us if you want to do something custom for your team. We're here to help, and we want to work with everybody.
Well,
so we're really happy to be here, happy to have sponsored this event and worked in partnership with Trials of Miles. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the night. I will be down in the field shooting with my big camera here, so if you see me running around, I will also be out of breath by the end of the night, that's for sure.
Some of your own Trials of Miles in.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us, Matt.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
All right, and so we are going back to trackside, and you look away for 1 second, and there's a breakaway on. What is going on, Mr. Phillips?
Yeah, Daniel Wynn putting a clinic as he steps off, but he was putting on a clinic in pacing and doing a really incredible job. But we see Ezra Mutai, again, that NCAA DTU national champion in cross country, really starting to put the pressure on. He went through, we'll get the 2 mile split on the next, but they were running 68, 67, 66, 65, 5. So a quick pace, and Ryan Rankin in tow, and Daniel Wynn is stepping off the track for the pacing duties. I've always thought, for the 5K, it's you segment it up, right? Like it's this. To me, I've always kind of was somebody trapped, a pretender in the marathon, half marathon, and the 10K. The 5K felt really natural, and I always loved racing it, and just that. The way the segmented of going from mile, 2 mile, making sure you feel really, really good at 2 miles, because you're going to feel good at 2 miles. You're going to be able to push through and have a really good race. He is right on about 14-minute pace, coming through at about like 8:59 with Ryan Rankin a few seconds in tow. He doesn't look like he's struggling too much. He looks good.
I don't know if it's because it's a quiet track. I don't know if it's because he's in shape or whatever it is. He looks very controlled.
Yeah.
This is a really hard way to run, right? And so if you're not familiar, to be a front runner in an empty stadium with somebody not directly behind you, he knows he's basically got a really big lead on it.
Yeah.
It's really challenging to run like this. This is a really fun effort to see him go out there like this right now.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like Rankin is actually slowing up, right? But Mutai is definitely quickening the pace. He's really starting. I'll look at this split, but he looks like he's actually really starting to kind of obviously pull away. As he comes through the backstretch, you can see him there.
Yeah, you can see what happens in a 5K.
Gonna try to figure out who everybody is in the mid-pack here, because we're really starting to split up. But
Just tell me what to do. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'll just talk for like 1 minute.
All right, and we had, I missed the split on that, but he is really pulling away. And it looks like we just have a one-person race here. But I think he's going to be fighting to get to 14 flat.
But he came out with a mission. Like this is a man who's running with a goal in mind and knew, when you're running in the pandemic in this situation, every opportunity might be the last. Races might be canceled.
How dire.
And so it's sort of this like, I have a mission to do. I don't have ideal conditions. I mean, we are so blessed with this weather right now. This weather is insanely perfect.
We're talking ideal training conditions, right?
Ideal training conditions, exactly. But you have to take an opportunity like this and just capitalize on it, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if anybody's with you. It doesn't matter if the pacer's going the pace you want. You have to just go and attack it, especially in this 2020 year of racing. This might be one of the only times you put up in a very, very quiet year, and you want to be able to build off of that. And to go a whole year without racing, miss out on those opportunities when they come.
It's definitely true, and it looks like he's tying up a little bit, but he just split 68.3. So, consistently for the past few laps. But he's looking around. You can tell he's leaning a little bit tired. But I think we're going to see, hopefully a near 14-minute performance. And I think that's he's exactly what he probably would want. Maybe he might go a little bit quicker. But again, these expectations for what you're going to really be able to run, given all these circumstances, a 14-minute performance would be incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as I'm looking, he ran 8:02 and he's run 29:31 on the cross country course, but he's run 14:02. So if he keeps going,
this is in his wheelhouse. Like this is, this should be. It would be tremendous to be able to get a 5K PR in these conditions. I mean, this is. A step above time trialing, right? Because you're seeing competitors and there's folks here and they're not your teammates and you're not on your college track.
Yep.
So it's significant, but there is a real drive that you have to do all by yourself.
Yeah, and as we're kind of looking at it, it's going to be tough. He just hit about a 69, and we're coming up on the bell lap looking at 12:53 right now on the clock. He's going to have to go sub 60 to get there. 62 is what he needs to get. His PR is 14:02.27. So let's see if he can run 62 or really just run 64 and get a PR.
And he's got to do some navigating. As happens in the 5K on the last lap, you've got to do a bit of navigating. But
look at him on the backstretch. Look at him on the backstretch.
And we got some courtesy going on from the other runners, which I appreciate. Somebody's trying to break down a PR.
All right, let's get this.
What do we got?
Yeah, 66. He's got to.
Right.
He's got to go. He's got to go if he wants to break 14. But we're looking at if he runs 32, he's gonna PR tonight.
And that would just be just fantastic to see an athlete accomplish that.
I really want to see if we can follow some of the high school action too, because we do have Aiden Puffer. Here we go, Ezra Mutai moving down. 14 minutes right now on the clock. 01:02. 14:02. Let's get the official. He's a 14:02.27 5K PR, 5K best. Let's see if he got it. Who do we have there? Oh, Aiden Puffer just coming through.
14:24.
Just broke a PR though.
Oh, all right, we'll take it.
He had a 14:25 weeks ago, a little bit off the Connecticut state record, but a great effort for a young runner. And we're looking at sub 15 here for a lot of runners. Great, a ton of runners now coming in at that sub 15 mark. And one runner just missing it.
Just missed it. So we have the women's 5K coming up in 5 minutes. So you can see the women on the track getting ready for that. and we will have a special guest at 5:20, and that'll be Brendan Martin from Finish Line Physical Therapy, who's also a competitor in the 10K. So we will look forward to talking to Brendan once the women's race goes off and gets underway.
And Anik, do you want to introduce our women's 5,000 meter field for tonight?
Absolutely. We're going to kick it off with Maddie Berkson, and this is a Stanford runner, I do believe, who has been doing some great times, and Yvette Mija, who has entered the event. They are the top 2 seeds. We also have some other high school stars in this field as well that you may recognize from, we have Sydney Mascarelli from Connecticut and Charlotte Bednar from Lawrenceville Prep, New Jersey, which I of course love because I am from that exact part of New Jersey, but I will pick no favorites. I am always just looking for a tremendous race. So these 4 women are the top 4 women to watch in the race, but it is just a fantastic field. It's got some local competitors and local elites that will put out a really great race as well, and so we're excited to watch them. You know, there is a good contingent from the NYC Distance Project, as well as a lot of LaSalle University runners. I think LaSalle was very thoughtful about who they put out in this field. We also have Christine Ramsey, who's from Schuylkill Athletics, which is a Philadelphia-based running club. She ran at Syracuse, and most interestingly, in 2009, she was 12th in New York City. And so you have a lot of athletes of great depth coming out tonight to hope to put out good performances. You know, I always pick out the New Jersey people in any single crowd. So you have Emily Goldsmith from the Brooklyn Track Club, and then Megan Flynn is our Jersey rep from TCNJ. And so she will also be here. Our pacer is Anna Shields. And so it looks to be a really good race tonight. You know, definitely a mix of folks, a lot of marathoners in this, right? And I've been fortunate enough to know Yvette for quite a few years now, and so I'm very excited to see her compete. She's got a marathon PR of 2:38, a half marathon of 1:13, and a 10K of 33:41, and so she is a very determined and fast athlete. And in Maddie Berkson, she has a really good competitor as well. Maddie is sort of more the athlete that I am, which is some 800 and 1,500 times.
Stepping up to the 5K.
I was going to say stepping up while Yvette is stepping down, and so those mashups are always really fun to see.
I love when a higher distance and a lower distance runner, they meet in the middle, and then they can kind of duke it out.
It was always like, you know, if Usain Bolt and David Rudisha raced, who would win the, who would win the, like, I don't know what they tied, like the 500 or something?
It was like Donovan Bailey and Michael Johnson. Like, didn't they do that? They did like a 150-meter race or something. I'm dating myself here.
Yeah, I was going to say, you went way back in the machine. I went to like 2010 called for me, and you went to like 1992. But okay, sure. If we want to get in the way back machine, we'll go back there. I don't know. I was 6. I can't tell you. No, I'm joking. It was. It's really, really fun to see athletes. Number 6, and she is ready to go. She runs with the Dashing Whippets, and she is just a very fun athlete. Years now.
I've got some men's official results that I'm reading from afar here.
Go for
but
it.
Ezra Mutai did get that PB in 14:02:07.
Oh,
congratulations, that's awesome. And then we had, oh man, it just scrolled over. So
it just scrolled over.
But we had a slew of runners getting under, at least 15 runners getting under 15.
When those results come out, we will be sure to nail them to whatever wood board is on the cross-country course.
Yeah, you got to be here in person. You got to go down to the wooden board.
The wooden board that is taped up.
There's some thumbtacks, and yeah, you'll get to see the results.
And John's going to take some splits in the women's 5K for us. Okay, that's why we've tapped John in. And then after the women's race gets off, we are going to talk to Brendan Martin, a Finish Line Physical Therapy and competitor in the 10K. No, and like 2 minutes.
He's eager. He's ready to go.
He's super eager. We're going to ask him what masks he's wearing. We're going to ask him what he's doing and how he can, all about his work.
Anik, I didn't even get to comment on your mask when we were up there. We were going to do a bit, but.
Do not. This is
I love the mask.
This is my, what do you call it, my pilgrim mask?
No, your little House on the Prairie mask.
It is gingham, okay? This is a noble fabric. It is a men's dress.
It's a noble fabric.
My father gave me this mask. Don't you insult it. It's my stylish menswear mask.
I know it's a stylish mask.
The latest in streetwear. I don't think that's how that works, but well, what are you wearing today? You're wearing some cows.
I got some cats on here.
Some kitty cats.
I'm celebrating some kitty cats.
All right, please don't be that person who gets this this time wrong. So definitely, we're gonna get this as it goes off.
again, a really beautiful night. We saw some fast times, and the gun is up. And we're off. All right, we got Anna Shields as the pacer, a 2:04, 4:12, 16:32 runner, so well equipped to help some runners run fast tonight. Oh, and Prince just came out of the stadium.
Say, and what
so
would
it's
be
go
better
time.
than this?
It's go time.
And it's sort of an interesting
A very interesting
It's a very interesting start to a race. I'm trying to find out who's the pacer here. I'm presuming it's lane 1 in the white top, and you really want to close the gap. In my pro career, I paced often in many races, and it was not uncommon for people to not go with you as the pacer. So this could be what we're looking at here, but we still do see Yvette in that blue top. I can pick her out a mile away, so that's why you're getting that.
Got hip number 15 is Charlotte Bednar, is just sitting on the pace there. And then we've got hip number 2, Eleanor Mancini, Yvette Mejia, and shoot. My only job is to split here.
And
I didn't get that split.
You
I'll
really
get the
had
next
one
split.
job on this. All right, but we see Eleanor Mancini, we see Yvette, and we are going to now go to Brendan Martin from Finish Line Physical Therapy.
And wearing 6 is Yvette. But keep your eye.
And so, Brendan, tell us a little bit about what you're doing here today and what you're looking forward to for your race before we get into Finish Line Physical Therapy related.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm running the 10K tonight, and my main goal is to be competitive. You know, everybody's been starved of races this year, so I'm just excited to go try and beat the other guys that I'm racing against, as many of them or all of them if I can. So
An
that's
admirable goal if there ever was
Thank you.
one. And how's your training been looking like leading up to this?
It's been good. The past 3 weeks since the first Trials and Miles track meet have been some of my strongest training weeks in as long as I can remember, so I'm excited.
And would you say that the 10K is your preferred distance, or are you more of a marathoner who's coming down, or are you a 5K guy going up?
So I feel like I am a marathoner, but I love track racing, so you know, I think the 10K is also in that range.
All right, and since there aren't any marathons for you right now, quite to the same degree, we're happy to have you in the 10K. Let's try
Thank you.
changing gears for a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your work at Finish Line.
So Finish Line Physical Therapy isn't like every PT clinic. We do one-to-one patient to PT ratio, 45-minute sessions, and you know, we try and look at the whole person. We're very cause-driven treatment versus symptom-driven treatment. So, you know, our specialty is figuring out what the cause of your problem is and then how to fix it, teaching you how to fix it.
And I know you're beloved by the running community.
Oh, thank you.
And I know there's quite a few runners on staff there as well.
Yes.
But what other sort of services do you offer to runners?
We
in this community?
also offer Ultra G running for, you know, decreasing the impact forces on your body. So we have 2 Ultra G treadmills. We have an infrared sauna. We have a cryo chamber. We have massage therapy. Typically, we have this fitness class called Foundry, which is currently online, but you know, hopefully we'll be starting up in person again soon. We offer yoga.
I was going to say, so it's not just
Offa.
Offa. It's a Boston name.
Yeah, I know.
That's
I'm like,
later
what's
in the
going
week.
on? I think I was
so-
saying offer yoga in one word.
Offa yoga. And so it's not only just that you're working with people who are, you know, broken, it's that you're working with people who are looking to stay strong.
Exactly.
As it were.
Yeah. Plenty of our patients are just looking to make themselves more injury resistant rather than wait till they get hurt.
Absolutely. And where can folks find more information about Finish Line? If they're
So
interested?
we're on Instagram and you know, a regular web browser. Just type in Finish Line Physical Therapy New York City. We're 119 West 23rd Street.
All right, definitely check them out if you're listening for pre or post have needs.
Yes, and we are in person again, which is exciting.
That is
you know,
very
we've been doing a
exciting.
few months of that now, which has been going really well for us. You know, it's a little extra work with all the sanitary stuff, but it's been going really well. So
Absolutely.
it's
Well,
good to be
luck.
back.
Good to be back, and good luck in your race tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Take care. Thanks. Is that okay? That's my radio. Thank you.
All right. right? And so we are back to the women's 5K. John, what did I miss? What have I missed?
We are on 5:08 pace, and we're looking at a sub 16 attempt here. The pacer is doing a great job, but now it seems like everybody, 5:07 on that.
I have to tell you, I love it when a pacer does this, right? A pacer is there for the athletes, but they're also there to represent a time in space, right? And so that is the gift that they give to the crowd. And so she is doing her job exactly as she should. And we just, they
exactly.
know.
It's like you're either going to get on the pacer or you're not. The pacer is here to do a job, and she's executing perfectly. But the people are just falling off a little bit.
So it
it is what it is.
It is what it is. My
But
favorite.
they're still running very fast, and we have some. I believe Charlotte Bednar is who's right there in tow, trying to close that gap. A high school junior from New Jersey.
I
late entry.
love the bold front running. I've actually run on the Lawrenceville prep track. Have you run on this indoor track?
Yes.
Have you done Lawrenceville? Oh yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to insinuate that you didn't know what you're talking about.
No, it just triggered some incredible memories of the Lawrenceville flat 200-meter track.
I think technically the internet believes that my PR is from the Lawrenceville indoor track, which makes no sense because it's not necessarily a fast track.
The internet believes
The
this.
internet believes it is not my PR, but it's like some website tells everyone that I once PR'd on the Lawrenceville indoor track, and they were wrong.
Running 77.9 on that last. But we should really actually start getting the pace off of Charlotte Bednar and that pack right there. But again, that pacer doing a great job.
I have to tell you, as a coach, I love to see the variety of running paces in this crowd. So I love to see Charlotte's form. I love to see everyone behind her. It just shows the uniqueness of running mechanics and how it works for every different individual athlete. So hopefully we can get
that camera back to the chase pack, right? Because we don't need to see the pacer here. Let's push that to the back if we can. Yeah, to the.
All right, let's
Unless,
see if
I don't know.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, now we're getting the shot we
looking for.
need.
Thank you to our kind
you
camera
never know,
women
the
and
pacer
men.
could just go and finish.
I know, but that's actually true. We don't want to count out our pacer who looks quite comfortable, but we do want to see.
We've been told she's the pacer. We're going to go with what the people want to see here. Charlotte Bednar looking really good up front.
Yeah. Love to see it.
I'm going to try to grab this split from Bednar.
And there we go.
And a few seconds back, I think she's probably running about the same as the pacer now. I mean, a little. She's obviously pulling away a little bit, but.
And so in number 2, we have Eleanor Mancini, who is listed as unattached. Behind her in number 4, we have
Elizabeth
Mancini. And these two, I believe, are related.
Yes, I would.
I'm going to go on a wild tear. And I believe they are our LaSalle athletes.
And Yvette Mejia still holding tough in the back there, and then hip number 9, Sydney Mastroelli.
And Sydney, I first learned of her when she did a Foot Locker kick of the century to secure her first Foot Locker win. Sydney is also, I love this, 1,000-point scorer on her basketball team. And I think very briefly this summer held the world record in the 1-mile basketball. I'm not joking. Get on the internet, man. This is where the fun is.
I love it.
It's a woman of all trades here. She's a very strong basketball player as well as a very strong high school runner.
Looking at this, I mean, we've got 2 high school senior, high school junior, and 2 LaSalle athletes up in that front pack that are running really well.
It's a good pack. This is what you want to see. That is like the pack formation you are looking for. And
So they were about 80, I
fueling.
think, on that last lap, approximately. So they're slowing down just a little bit.
And they're letting Sydney back in.
And
which
we're
is
going to catch
always,
this 2-mile split
yeah.
in the next. Yeah.
And so when the,
Okay, so
when the
we've
pace
got- yeah.
accordions like this, you always have to watch out, because if you let someone in who is quite fast, like Sydney,
Yep.
and the pace continues to slow and it's in her wheelhouse, then you'll find you are in a bad position later in the race. But the two Mancinis look very comfortable as well. So, as well as Charlotte, who is leading up.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Sydney with a 5K PR of 16:16. She's a 3-time national champion. You already said that, sir.
What?
You said some of this already.
I know, I wrote it. I researched her. You're not, of course, I'm sorry, this woman has like a world record in a basketball 1 mile, and you don't think I'm going to research this woman?
I love it.
I'm all about weird, fun second habits that runners have. I can't, dribble a basketball standing still, let alone over the course of 1 mile.
So yeah, this pace up front with Mascherelli and Bednar, we got 16:16, 16:25 PRs, and we got 10:33 for the 2 miles. So
win most states for the high school track competition. And with another approximately mile ago, they are moving out.
so they're a bit off that hot pace that they were at, but they are still running approximately 10:30 to 5:15.
And Sydney, that's your own.
And so you see that there are almost
16:25.
3
pace or so.
packs forming now.
Yep. And we've got the pack of 3 here with.
For those following that second pack, they hit their
And I believe our pacer did step off the track.
Yes.
So just in case anybody wanted to know if she was choosing to,
Well done to the pacer.
very, very well done indeed. Very well done indeed. I would.
I know you paced in the past life a bit.
I have paced. I once had to fight. I was in Italy racing, pacing, one would
As
say.
one does.
As one does. And I had to fight.
In Italy, you must pace.
One must pace. I was in Padua. I was pacing, and I had to fight off the athletes because they had not told the other athletes that I was the pacer. They thought I was just the intrepid early front runner, and they literally elbowed me terribly. And to push me around the track is actually pretty hard, coming in at 5:10. So I was manhandled by some Europeans who
As
were
one
not
does.
informed that I was there to help them. But it was actually a really fun race. I was pacing Melinda Elmore from Canada and a couple other of the Americans and Europeans on the circuit that summer. So it was a fantastic experience. So front running and pace running is an art.
Okay, so we've got a pace of 3. We've got Bednar.
And there
We've
we
got
go.
Eleanor Mancini. And we have.
Elizabeth Mancini, number 4, I believe. Unless she lost her hip numbers, and I've invented a family member. Hip numbers being those fickle things that are just more ornamental in the
Why do we
first
even
2
put
laps.
those things on? They always fall off.
And then the
We're
commentators.
up in a little bit of a booth, so apologize for.
We apologize to any
We're
parents
looking
who
at our
are
program
horrified
feed
by
here
our.
and only being able to see what we can see on this monitor here. So Bednar looking good. She's fighting through.
And I believe it is a number 4 and not a 14.
All right, 13:10 at 4K. That lap was 79.8. So they're still on a good pace. You know, they're running 16:30 pace, and it looks like
14. I was wrong. There we go. It's a 14. Oh,
it's
much
Maddie
different.
Berkson.
Much different.
Maddie Berkson.
Sorry, Maddie Berkson, that I've been depriving you this entire race of your true identity because I can't read
Maddie Berkson
hip numbers.
unattached.
Maddie Berkson. So
With a
this
seat
is
time of 15:50.
Yeah, this is a Stanford athlete who had a tremendous Stanford career and is a New Englander. So from Providence area training up in there as of recently. And she looks extremely comfortable right now.
Yeah, she does. She's just been biding her time, right? And that's the perfect thing to do in a 5K. You just sit, you relax, particularly like in a time trial 5K where you're trying to run fast. You sit, relax, let everybody else do the work. You don't need to work.
She looks.
Some people like to front run, and it looks like Bednar really does like to.
Once this race ends,
And there she goes, and she goes away, and she's passing on the right, and she looks extremely comfortable.
Super comfortable.
And so a little bit is the runner's difference of form, right? You know that Charlotte has absolutely a different form than Maddie does, and they're both effective. But it's really who's more comfortable in their form at this later stage of the race.
For sure, and you might say, you know, you could see Bednar tying up, but that's been her form for the entire race, and exactly what she's comfortable with. She looks.
Yep, it's Maddie.
The hip numbers are wrong then. No, Maddie Berkson, yeah.
Yeah. No, they were telling us because we had our event director come tell us we were wrong, to which we totally own. And we apologize to Maddie Berkson.
we got
I
the
will
bell
send
lap.
her an email.
15:06 with the bell lap.
And let's see what she can do in this last lap. This is going to be an exciting lap. She looks so comfortable. She's just taking off.
Just trying to make sure we're getting all the names right. We're at the best of our hip numbers. And she's cruising. Yeah, Maddie Berkson going to take the lead here with 200 meters to go, 15:40 on the clock.
That's Maddie Berkson, followed closely by Charlotte Bednar.
Okay, we got it right.
We got it right. Listen, it's not easy, especially when you can't even see the track.
So we are Berkson with 100 meters to go. She is looking really, really good.
She's looking like a middle distance runner right now. This is the sort of form that you would imagine every 1,500 meter runner would hope to have at the end of their race. And she just looks
And crossing in
tremendous.
16:16.
And Charlotte is just behind her.
16:21 unofficially. She just broke a New Jersey state record. 16:21 unofficially. Congratulations to Charlotte Bednar.
New Jersey is a very competitive state for track and field, and so it's tremendous to see
for Elizabeth
that happen
Mancini.
today.
Sydney Masciarelli with 16:40. This is a fast race.
This is.
This is only the second of 8 races tonight.
We've had some very fast races already.
And it's only the second of 8
It's only
races tonight.
Who just said that? All right, let's see who else we got coming through here.
And we've got a great kick coming in. And we have
We got
Sasha Little in the
17:10 on
back
the
there.
clock. 17:11, 17:12. Great efforts. Oh, there's Yvette Mejia.
Why don't we run the first
All right.
commercial? The first
And-
commercial right after this.
All right, I think we're going to go from a word to a word from our sponsors. Wait, in a second we will.
But to see a state record go down is just fantastic.
It's pretty insane, right? Like,
It is just phenomenal to see them do that, to come out in these conditions, and to not count anybody out.
You can commercial right now.
All right.
And we're going to cut to a word from our sponsors to Generation Ecan.
It's the last round. Last set. Last mile. You can't stop. And you don't have to with UCAN. Patented superstarch nutrition keeps you at peak performance for longer than you ever thought possible. With no sugar and no fast carbs. Just pure energy. Push yourself harder, farther, stronger. When your body demands more, stay in the game longer. You can.
All right.
And
Again, we are back. And again, what a race. I mean, like, let's kind of just break that down like Anika had just said.
I have to say, people say there's a perfect running form, and I say go talk to Charlotte about that, because Charlotte just broke the very competitive 5K record for the state of New Jersey for high schoolers.
The state of New Jersey, like an unbelievable history of incredible runners across the board to break the 5K track record. record.
And John and I happen to maybe be both from the great state of New Jersey, so
We
are
love New Jersey.
maybe wildly
We love New
biased.
Jersey.
Wildly biased about this, and so just a tremendous performance,
I've got
and happy to see that.
some Jersey pride right there.
That's
incredible.
Yeah,
Congratulations,
Trent made the
Charlotte.
world's.
And again,
Sure.
congrats to Maddie Bergson, like a very smart, well-executed race, running in the pack and then making that speed injection with the last few laps to go, and making it her race at that point.
And to
like,
make him
true speed, surge of speed, and just going for it.
I would love
and
to
running
see
a good
her
race.
in a shorter distance race as well with that form. I think she'd just be
It
tremendous.
looked like she was just tempoing, to be honest.
And we weren't even given a 5K PR with her, so I'm just, we can
Maybe
today.
she just PR'd.
Today she can have it. We will put something on it for her
PRs
now.
across the board.
All right, and so we are switching gears ever so slightly to the men's mile.
And we're off.
And we are off, and so this race is...
Nobody told me we were going off
I'm
here.
sorry, you're not a miler, obviously.
All right.
So John is going to attempt to get some splits on this, but this is a small field today, right?
Small field, yeah. And we've got a really, really great field. Let's see, let's talk about the narrative here. The Hofstra University record of 4:16 is probably going to be gone tonight. But we've got Alex Masai, and how fast is he going to go? A 7:53, 13:27 runner from Hofstra University. I think he's going to break the 4:16 record tonight, but how fast? He also has, like we were talking about, these distances of people that are coming down from distance and going up. He's got Tehran Reyes, a Leonia Track Club, who's a 46.8 guy, 118 1600. Or 600, a 147 national record from the Dominican Republic. We're going to see a really, really good heat, and we've gone through in 60 seconds from the mile. So that was a bit of like a 58 probably on the 400. And the two pacers up front, Ian Ritchie and Victor Palumbo, have set a really, really great 4-minute mile, pace here. And, to round out the field here, we've got Jose de la Cruz, Ryan Renchevik, John Dove, all with good PRs, but it looks like we're going to have a race up front here with Alex Masai going for a sub-4 attempt.
And he comes in with a speed of 4:05, so that's what he's targeting here for today's race. So it'll be interesting to see how close he can get to that.
Yeah, I mean, for when you're so close, when you're 4:05, you're going for 4:05. It's like 4 flat or bust, right? Like nobody ever runs 4:05 pace. They run 4 flat pace, and then they fade off to 4:05.
And
we're 158, 2 flat on the 8:09. And anytime you see a sub-4 mile is so special. I mean, I remember my first viewing of a sub-4 mile.
I was going to say, do you have something you need to tell me? Is there a secret you need to tell me about when you once ran?
Didn't touch the sub-4.
Also, I'm just going to tell you, if you ran a sub-4 minute mile, you would have told me 20 minutes ago.
You would, yeah. People on the stream would have known my
you.
mile PR.
It would have been tattooed on your chest. It would have said, like father, like son, like sub
2:29 at the K, and one of the pacers steps off the track. Alex Masai looks really good right now.
He does. He looks
really,
tremendously
really good.
comfortable.
Nice and relaxed. But it's something special anytime you get to see it, and I hope we get to see this tonight.
And it's not easy to find pacers who can keep up with sub 4 minute mile efforts,
True.
right? You've actually got to go into your stable
Absolutely.
and secure some athletes.
And this guy has done a great job. We're at 2:59, 3 flat. Here we go, 3:01. Alex Masai, is he gonna get the sub 4 minute mile? He needs to run a 59 or better to get this. And he looks good.
He is good. He is completely alone. This is
Completely alone.
sheer energy
And again, I can't explain.
You can't even speak.
I can't explain enough how desolate this stadium is. We have a lot of loud music going. That's why I'm shouting.
To run a sub 4 in
200
this
meters to go.
desert of emotion would be a fantastic place. But people are on their feet. The few people are on their feet.
341, 342. He's got a kick. He's got 346 with 100 meters to go. He is so close. It's going to be very, very close. Come on, Alex. You got this.
He is reaching into a suitcase of courage, and what will he pull out?
359, 401. Oh, unofficial.
Unbelievable run is right for Alex.
Huge PR and Hofstra University record.
A tremendous effort.
You know, you can't ask for much for that.
Honestly,
again, it's 2020, folks. You
it
run
was-
401, you take it. And we've got Tehran Reyes coming through in 420. Great job, great race by everybody. And right now, we'll come back with a little analysis, Nick, but we're gonna kick it over to a word from our sponsors.
Finish Line opened in 2006. Initially, I started the clinic because I was looking for a place where I would be able to practice the craft of physical therapy the way I learned it in school. Finish Line offers one-on-one sessions for 45 minutes with patients. We develop custom home exercise programs. We do a lot of manual therapy, a lot of hands-on treatments. We offer the Off-the-G, the Normatec compression sleeves, cryotherapy. We cater to the endurance athlete, but I like to think that we cater to all active individuals who are looking to take care of themselves, whether preventative in terms of rehab or post-injury.
So Finish Line physical therapy it's definitely different from when you walk through the door. It's easy to feel that, and it's easy to see that. I think we most pride ourselves on being part of the community. It's sort of how we were founded from the beginning, with Michael being a coach for a charity team, and then everything just sort of happened organically. There was real crossover between community and Finish Line, and I think from there we just developed that further.
My name is Emmy Aguilar, and I am a doctor of physical therapy here at Finish Line. I have been working here since 2016 when I graduated from Columbia. And one thing I really, really, really love about this job that kind of keeps me motivated is the patients. You know, I've been at other clinics in the past where it's such a drag to just get the patient to like do their exercises and come to PT, and here it's like I have to sometimes tell my patients like, don't do too many exercises, like slow down a little bit.
And I think the reason we get such a good base of the community here is because our community really value the goals that a lot of our patients have. I think our perspective when someone walks through the door is not how do we just fix this, rather how do we get you to reach the goals that you are looking to achieve. A lot of places will say, oh, you can't run, you gotta stop, but we know that our patients need to run, they need this on a daily basis, and we're there for them because we also understand.
And we are back.
Absolutely. So John, tell us a little bit about what we just saw as the women's race is about to get set, but before they take off, what was that men's mile like?
I mean, Alex Masai just put on a clinic. Let's be honest. Like I said, 2020 has been a tough one, Anik. And for someone who didn't, I don't know, he didn't have a mile PR in our notes, so he just set a mile PR. Ran 401. Hey, you know, 401, and he looked really smooth. He's gonna break 4. He's gonna break 4 at some point, right? But really put on a clinic. Was really a beautiful race to see, and it's not sub 4, but again, a beautiful race.
I mean, the Hofstra University mile record was
It
4:16.
just got lowered by 15 seconds.
I mean, you don't.
Dece.
Typically, one does not run, and so the official time was 4:01:67 for Masai. And you know, the next person was Reyes back in 4:21. So to do a bit of front running like that on a night like this, in a year like this, in a stadium that is mostly silent. I mean, a 401 in a silent stadium, it's like altitude conversion. I believe that is when a crowd's around. That's a 358.
The vacancy of energy, you know, you should be at it. You should be lowering it by a few seconds.
Absolutely, you are in a deficit by running in
we're 3 races
silence.
in, and we've had some really exciting races so far. Anik, let's preview our women's 1 mile race.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you know, I will just say the women's mile will always be one of my favorite events in my heart. And we have Caitlin Ryan with us today from Stanford University. I love seeing these Stanford athletes on the track, and she's the top seed in the women's mile. But she will have New Jersey, which I feel like is, you know, another like character in this in this show with us today is the state of New Jersey.
The state of New Jersey.
But she will have New Jersey high schooler Miranda Lorsbach, a 4:33 1500 meter runner Sasha Whittle, and 2:16 800 meter runner Haley Ritzma. They're all looking to contend for the win. And so this should be an exciting race as well. We have Susan Clinchy, and we have a pacer in Maria Mariskia.
And Jennifer Dagan. Did you say Jennifer Dagan?
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
No, I totally
How dare
didn't
you
say
think
that.
that,
I know.
Jennifer.
She is with Elite Feats. And so this should be a very fun race today.
All right, and they're lining up here.
And so John's going to actually get the start of this race in a new turn of events.
You know, I'm watching the clock and I'm not watching the field as much. And you know, when you see the gun go up, I just got to be on it. I got to be on it. You know, this is the 4th race. I'm going to get better. Okay?
Shake off that rust. And so we've got our pacer.
It's rusty for the athletes. It's rusty for us too.
Rusty
Like,
for
you know,
us.
I haven't seen the track action.
I haven't seen you in 7 months, so here we are doing all sorts of crazy things tonight. And so we have Maria as our pacer. She is the Central Park Track Club Orange, as you are going to see her, and she's going to get off the line quick, tuck in, and hope to pull these women through a fast mile.
And they're off. And I got it.
I'm so proud of you. And you see how the pacer just gets up front, tucks in, and off they go.
And you come from a mile heritage. Tell us about what's going on and how just extrapolate on the mile and tell us what's going on in these women's heads and how they're going to execute a 1 mile race today.
Yeah, and so the mile is 100% endurance and 100% like almost anaerobic feeling. So to say it a little bit more plainly, the demand on the body.
Yes, in layman's
terms, the demand on the body it requires tremendous amount of speed, and it also requires tremendous amount of strength. And so you have to train very specifically for this event. If you're dropping down, you might find, coming from the 10K, the 5K, you might find you lack speed. If you are coming up, you're an 800, 400 runner, you might find that you cannot last in this race. And so what you really have to do is pace yourself, train for it, and then execute. And so these athletes are going through, to be completely blunt, they are hoping to make it to the last lap in 3 laps in really great condition and be in fighting shape. And so
yeah, we're at 72 on 400 and about 74.5 at 409. So they're right at about 5-minute pace, which I think given the PRs, they might be for some of them, a good effort.
Yeah. And for those at home, the 5 mile barrier, 5 minute is not the same as the 4 minute barrier for men.
Yeah.
That for women exists a little bit closer to 4:30. So it's a slightly different effort, but 5 is still a really important number to break in any emerging miler's career. It's a really great milestone to knock off. Some people get in high school or college or even post-collegiate. A lot of people find that breaking 5 for the first time is a very notable moment in their career.
For sure. And it looks like they're already kind of breaking up a little bit here. You can see Caitlin Ryan kind of being right on the shoulder of the pacer there.
And so this Stanford University athlete is coming in with a 2:06 half marathon, also known as the 800 meter. How about we do that?
The old
2:06
half
mile distance. And she's also a 4:33 1500 meter runner.
Yeah, and I think they came through in about 2:31, so they're right around 5-minute pace, like we said before. Oh, and it looks like the pacer is stepping off. And it is going to be Caitlin Ryan's race to run and race to win. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, the longer the distance, it seems counterintuitive, right? That like the longer the distance, maybe the easier it is to kind of maintain that pace. I feel like running a mile by yourself is really, really hard to do.
I would say the 800 is a version of hell. The mile is a slightly kinder, cooler version of the 9th layer of hell. It is extremely uncomfortable. We undervalue this race because it's such a short distance and many people can't physically accomplish it. But to do it well, like you're seeing right now, is very painful.
And 3:48 at the bell for Caitlin Ryan.
And so this race is a perfectly spaced, socially distanced mile
Yes.
brought to you
Everybody's trying to be
by the
safe.
Big City Invite. We are here trying to give you the most separated mile race we can, and that's just how it falls, especially if you happen to have a smaller group in a pandemic year. You're going to see this spread happening, and so every athlete is out there really, really battling, but we are seeing on the backstretch a gap sort of closing, and I love to really see it because there's energy in that moment, right? And so you see the hunter and the hunted, and this is when really fun races occur, and there's a lot of ground.
And I believe that's Miranda Lorsback.
I would love to see this, just because
and it looks like she's closing in.
She is closing indeed.
She's closing in a little bit. Let's see if Caitlin.
And so we're going to check out the front of the race. And here it is.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to get her. But a really good effort.
But we are not going to get maybe a Sarah Holland London marathon, but we can always hope for those moments. They are what make track and field so exciting. We live for those moments.
All right, and closing in 5:05 for Caitlin Ryan, 5:07 unofficial for
5:07. These are great efforts put out on an October.
Jennifer Dagan in 5:18. Sasha Whittle in 5:22. Susan Clinchy in 5:26, and that is a wrap on the women's 1 mile. Anik, provide a little bit of analysis on that one.
Yeah, the mile is a wonderful. When you have small groups like that, you really have to go out and do exactly what you need to do, right?
For something you see.
The mile?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is my preferred.
Hate thing? What's going on?
No. How challenging it is, and so when I think it's one of those things that people presume they can do, and then when you go see athletes go out and actually destroy it, run 5:01, run 4:01, run 5:05, you realize it's actually a very, very challenging distance. It is a humbling distance, which is why I will continue to refer to it as a version of hell. I promise I won't say that anymore on this announcement tonight. I am done.
Well, we're past the version of hell.
I am done with that. We have left that 9th layer, and
now we're going to heaven. The men's 3K.
I have to say the men's 3K is heaven because a 3K on the outdoor track is called PR City USA.
That's true.
It is.
But that's when you're coming off of indoor.
It is when PRs come to be born. It is. I have never run an outdoor 3K. I have. You have?
Yeah. It's because you didn't go up in distance. Because you never really went that far up in distance, right?
Oh, I do declare I was a cross-country All-American. I absolutely went up in distance. I do declare I was a cross-country All-American.
I knew that, but you're just refreshing my memory on
Yes, our 14 years of friendship, I need to refresh it from time to time. Do we need to break out some hardware from our glory days? We will. We have with us today some All-American awards.
We're getting to the point where Anik and I are going to talk about how washed up athletes we are and really deep dive into some D3 athletic glory days here. But no, I think that's 10K stuff. That's 10K stuff.
We need 25 laps to get into such fun.
All right, so let's
but back to the 3K.
Let's talk 3K.
The 3K. Tell me what is going on in the 3K.
All right, so we've got some really fast runners going, and looking at like 8 flat type runners. We've got a high school junior who's run 8:53 in the 2 mile. They're going to be chasing the 3K record. So let's talk about some of the narratives here. Jamie D from Iona College, he's going to enter the men's 3K as the top seed. But we've got recent Fordham University grad Ryan Kutch. He's going to be looking to challenge. Ryan Kutch with a 3K PR of 8:07, 14:04, and Jamie D in 8:04, 14:02. Very evenly matched runners. And I think it's going to be a real fun battle up front. Like I said, Gavin Sherry, he's a Conrad High School Connecticut State runner. He's going to look for that Connecticut State record of 8:20. He's an 8:53 guy, 14:43 5K runner. So he's right in it. Again, we don't know the exact pace of or the training that everybody's been going through, but it'll be interesting to see where everybody's fitness is, because that could be challenged. All right, they're lining up over here. Also in the race, we've got Sean Grossman, Sean Meehan, Eric Clay, Callum Sherry, Campbell Lee, Luke Sharkley, Chris Diaz, Nicholas Young,
Walker Beverly,
Sean Barkowski, Dylan Manning, Jerry Faulkner, and our pacer for tonight, Daniel Wynn. He's coming back
back.
for the second one.
He's back, and thanks.
All right, they're lining up, and you can't see me, but I'm standing up
I was
now.
going to say, I'm sitting down, but John's on split duty.
I'm on split duty, as
I
promised.
think he's got to earn his dinner tonight
As
by
promised.
getting our splits.
So it looks like up front we're going to have these guys, again, Jamie and Ryan, looking to get close to that 8-minute barrier. And then we've got some people right in that 8:20 range. So I think we'll probably see 2 packs going, kind of split up pretty quickly. And they're off. Again, like we said before, the indoor 3K is typically where you're seeing these guys, but it's fun to see an outdoor 3K.
Typically, this is the other challenging event. Let's just be honest, they're all very, very challenging events, but typically this has water barriers on the outdoor.
Yes, the old steeplechase.
Do you believe it's called the steeplechase? And it is typically a 3K with water barriers. So if you love the distance, like 3,000 meters like I do, but you don't like jumping over water barriers, also like I do, you would never compete typically in an outdoor 3K, but it is a perfect event for this situation. It really favors those who can handle almost a 2-mile distance but have speed, right? And so milers do really well at this, as well as 5K runners with some quick turnover.
Yeah, I was like kind of a 5K, 10K guy, and coming down to the 3K was always fun because it was kind of like my speed challenge, so to speak. But just a 64.7. So they're on 420 pace, 420. Oh man.
I'm letting you do the.
I haven't done the math in a while, Anik.
I was going to say, Mr. Phillips, he's looking at me like I'm sorry, I cannot help you with that, John.
64 is really, we're going to call it 418.
And these top 4.
Yeah, they're right on 8 flat.
Yeah.
Right on 8 flat. Danny Wynn is the guy's a metronome. Let's be honest.
He really is quite good at this. I've seen him work out the McCarran track and just sort of clocks out, exactly what he needs to do. So it's very, very good at this. It's a good skill to have, especially if you need someone to pace you through a race.
Yeah, like we said before, we were probably going to see these 2 different packs break up, right? We've got an 8-minute or bus crew up front, and then we've got a little bit of a probably 8:20-ish pack.
And I am going to try and read hip numbers, which will always be a challenge.
Yep, 64.8.
John's
Win!
getting excited.
This guy's a metronome.
John's getting excited.
So we've got, oh man, I'm trying to read these hips numbers. We got.
I'm guessing Fordham is in the front because those are Fordham colors. I know, having spent time at Fordham. Okay, that was what we needed, but we will just presume that is Jamie D. and Ryan Kutch.
And as expected, Ryan Kutch and Jamie D are out.
Okay, good. Yes, confirmed. They are out front. And 2. I didn't get that 1K split. Dang. So we got D and Kutch up front. Looking smooth. I mean, Wynn is right on pace. 64.8, 67, 64.7 on the first, 64.8. Let's see what he's got here. 64.4. Win! This guy's on point. All right, D and Kutch.
And here we go. We have a really smooth
Just
transition
sitting again.
occurring.
This is time trial stuff, right? You compete in the last lap or 2. And you're just time trialing really the rest of this race. You're sitting, and you're waiting.
And as with all racing, you're hoped you get to bell lap, you get to that last lap when the bell actually gets rung, and you hope you are in really great condition.
Yep.
And that is the whole point of the previous races, to get in a really good position. And the athletes are lucky because there's no fighting for positions. There is what there is. You get what you get and you don't get upset. Everyone's got room on the track. But you're also looking to then capitalize on that last lap as well as you can.
Oh wow, we've got, Gavin. Let me get this split. Daniel Wynn on point, 4:20 at the mile, 65.0. Got Jamie D just sitting.
Jamie D in the purple.
And Ryan Kutch just falling off a touch. His pace is hot. We got a 4:20 mile, and they're right on 8. Little off 8 flat pace. 8 flat is about 4:18, but we could close a little bit faster. We'll see.
This would be the part of the
But
race
Wynn-
where if I were Jamie D, I would start tipping Daniel Wynn to go a little bit longer.
Yes.
I will slip
Yeah,
you
yeah,
$200
yeah,
if
yeah.
you can
You're like,
take
Wynn,
me.
keep going, keep going, keep going, Wynn.
Keep going. I'll give you $400, Wynn.
You're like, Wynn, don't stop.
Because you can't underestimate how great it is to not be alone when you're leading a race like this.
For sure.
That's this fast.
He steps off the track and you just feel, there's not much wind out tonight, so there's not really breaking much wind, but
It's an energy. It is a
it is the
whole
energy. It's
thing.
the absence of having to think about pace.
Absolutely.
And they're coming through
And Wynn is out.
at 2K65 though, right on point. And Wynn is out, so it's just Jamie D.
And he's
Ryan
got
Kutch 6 seconds behind. But it's really Jamie D's race to win here. Kutch looks good. He looks like he's pushing in the back there.
He really
He
does.
did fall off, but we do have the high school phenom, Gavin Sherry, 8:53 2-mile PR. I think we're gonna see him run pretty quick tonight. 8:20 is what he needs to run, and he is right on pace. Looking really, really good. So we've got D, Kutch, and Sherry all by themselves, and they're just gonna have to work by themselves. That's it. That's all they've got. Jamie D, let's get this split here. Jamie D, I don't know if this split could be right, but it sounds like a 63. Looks like he's still
He
hammering
looks
here.
great. He has tremendous form. He's got great
And
turnover.
we're gonna come up on the bell lap here.
We're now on our feet, folks. It's the kind of race that we're looking at.
He's gonna be coming on right around 7 flat. 6:59 at the bell. Sub 60s within it. He looks pretty good. Let's see what we got for these other guys. Ryan Kutch gonna be coming through in about 7:13, and Gavin Sherry with a lap to go, 7:17. He's got to run 63 for that Connecticut state record. Does he have it? And we got Jamie D on the backstretch with 200 meters to go at 7:32. He's got a kick. He's got a kick to get under 8. Looking really, really good. Looking strong. He's got some people to catch from lapped runners. And it looks like Gavin Sherry is gonna catch Ryan Kutch. Jamie D, 100 meters to go, 70 meters to go, and it's gonna be a little bit off 8 minutes, but an incredible, pretty much solo effort with that beautiful pacing by Daniel Wynn, finishing unofficially at 8:04. And Gavin Sherry killing it. And I believe he's going to get that Connecticut state record, 8:19 unofficially.
Very exciting for both Jamie D and for Gavin Sherry. We'll have to see what the official times are, but it looks like it was a PR and potentially another state record on the books
State
for tonight.
record's just going down.
Very exciting.
Connecticut, another neighbor of New York, of course.
Connecticut.
We celebrate Connecticut like we celebrate New Jersey.
You might
just not
recognize
as
Connecticut as a neighbor.
close. You might recognize them as a neighbor of New
of
York.
this neighbor.
And a lot of good performances coming through here.
Really strong efforts.
Jerry Faulkner crossing the line there.
8:19.2.
Officially.
Connecticut State record for 3,000 meters for high school.
And so that's Gavin Sherry, who has broken officially the Connecticut State record, which was 8:20, and he ran an 8:19. 8:19.21. And you can't see my co-host, Mr. Phillips, up here, but he is feeling these state records strapping. There's nothing better than rewriting the record book.
Track in October and
Track in October is not a thing that exists, but it does tonight.
Our state records are being broken. Like,
And that's actually a really excellent point.
what more do you ask for?
Typically, athletes are in cross-country season, right?
Right.
And so these records are usually attacked in April,
they're
May,
peaking,
June.
they're peaking late November. Sometimes for these kids, particularly in cross country in high school, they're running NXN in December.
And I think what we're seeing tonight is really strong athletes who put in really strong training blocks this entire pandemic, and are looking to capitalize on all their training.
And the crazy thing is too, is just like, we kind of talked to that in the intro, just like the idea of like the periodized training of getting to a specific race and a specific mark and sharpening, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we didn't know about this race until probably a few weeks ago, or, assembling these fields, and to be this race sharp to run a state school record or a PR or close to PR.
And I would argue that no one is very sharp. Everyone is very strong, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I think what you're seeing is a lot of strength running. You're seeing athletes putting in really great training. This is a very exciting women's 3,000 meters. So let's switch gears a little bit, all right? I'm very excited for this race. We've got a deep field today, starting with Abby Wheeler from Providence College, who is going to lead this field of local talent, including Rachel Shulkolsky, Olga Kolkenchko, Maggie Sullivan, Melissa Lodge, Hannah Rastami, and Leanne Sherrick. And we also have another high school senior. I'm all about these high schoolers destroying things, records, state records, personal records. High school senior Chloe Scrimgore, I'm sure I'll be corrected on that one, who has a 2-mile personal best of 10:48.
The boards are going to rip you apart, isn't it?
They're going to rip me apart. Neek Lamar, listen, once I too was Anna Glamour from Harvard, so we've all been there, but I do apologize for saying these names wrong.
Guns up. And they're off. Yeah, I mean, here's a really great field of local elite New York City metro area runners from a bunch of different clubs, CPTC, Brooklyn TC,
Dashing Whippets,
New England Distance. Not metro area, but Iona College. I mean, yeah. So we've got,
and so we've got
this is the biggest field of the night here too.
We do. It's a double waterfall coming off, and so they're doing a perfect merge. And you see all those orange and blue, and that is Central Park Track Club. So they are coming out in full force tonight for an effort like this.
And we've got our pacer Anna Shields up front doing the work, and I'll get a split and figure out what pace we're shooting for tonight.
13, high schooler Chloe Scrimgore.
And for a race like this that has so much local competitive elite of New York City, they know each other, right? This is competitive. They are here to race each other, but they also know who each other are. They rely on each other for training and for racing. And on races like tonight, they rely on each other to push each other, right? You cannot have a fast time without competitors, and the women of New York City often celebrate that, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing better than stepping on foot or stepping on the track with your teammates and be able to work as a pack and work together and race, So on that, we've got 72 pace, 448 pace. So that's a pretty quick pace.
And so that is Abby Wheeler, #1 in the all black, if my eyes don't deceive me.
Yeah.
Which they
448 pace, we're looking at 856, 857. I'm assuming they're probably going to be going more towards that like 9 flat, a little bit above 9. Everybody's
Abby Wheeler, her 3K PR is 9:08, her 1500 is 4:31, and she's got a 5K of 15:40.
Yep.
So she could definitely take down
as well as Rachel Schlitkowski with a PR of 9:08. So
they are well suited.
Yep.
This is what you love to see in matchups. Really a lot of tight pack running. And so we have Rachel Shilkowski in the tie-dye, I believe it's tie-dye, we'll go with that. Tie-dye top.
5-minute pace for the first 1,600 meters.
Yeah, so pace is a little hot on that first one, so I think they're slowing down and probably looking more towards like 5-minute pace. At 2:30, basically at the 800 there. And we've got, looks like Abby Wheeler sitting behind the pacer there.
And a really great just pack in the back that sometimes there you can see it. Just perfect night to have a group of like 10 women, though they're off screen for some of this race, really just working well together.
In second, going with the pacer, who's running a sub 5-minute mile pace.
And so if you think of our mile race we saw earlier in the evening, this race here, some of the women may run faster in the mile on the way to a 3K. And that's how these distance races work from time to time.
Yep. So we got the pacer and Abby Wheeler up front, running about 5-minute pace, and 2 kind of chase packs behind. But it looks like it's going to be, pacer at 74.4, so a little under 5-minute pace for that split. And she's, I mean, they're just gaining distance now. So I think it's going to be an Abby Wheeler race here. Just like we've seen kind of throughout all the races, as we see the pace, and we might have, in our men's 1 mile, we're seeing a lot of these pacers just go out, 1 or 2 people follow, and the last few laps just be on the runner to see if they can hang and grab a PR.
People have work to do, and they want to get it done. So, it's whether or not anybody's going to come with them is not the point for them tonight. They're going to do what they can with what they have. And there you see this fantastic pack of
pack.
Local competitives
Yep.
in the New York City region. I love this. This is, you do see this spread, but that group is phenomenal back there, doing their own race as well.
Here we go at the mile. The pacer coming through. She just dropped a 70.71, 4:56.
And so and now she is solo.
Now she's solo.
So we've got a solo
hanging.
effort. But here we see a great grouping of Brooklyn Track Club, Central Park runners, Dashing Whippets in here. A phenomenal
This is the New York City Battle Royale.
This is what New York City does right here, baby. This is New York City women's distance running, and I am just so impressed with them at all times. It really is. This is what I came for. See these ladies in action.
I wish we could see hit numbers. It'd be a little bit easier.
They are closing. There's a focused effort to keep it going, and they are led by number 13, which is Chloe Strimgauer. And she is doing the work of pulling them through. And you can see around the opposite side of the track in this shot, you can see
we see Abby Wheeler just continuing putting on a clinic. I'll grab her split here. 73.8 coming through at 6:08. So these are kind of some wild splits here, because she's starting out at 72, 76, 74, 70, 73.8. Kind of, going back and forth, seesawing a little bit, but running quite fast here.
And to be expected when you are setting the pace all yourself, right? You are out there trying to find a rhythm, and sometimes it's easy, and sometimes you
Yeah, it's a variance, right?
It's a variance.
It's a variance. But she looks really good. We got 2 laps to go at 6:45 with 2 laps to go.
Very comfortable.
And trying to get the hip number of who we have in second place here. Rachel Shilkowski, 7 flat with 2 laps to go. She's running great by herself too. This is like the tough, it's great to see these packs. They get to work together up front, working by yourself.
It's a tale of 2 races. It's a tale of 2 races.
74.9 for Abby Wheeler. And she's got 600 meters to go.
She looks like she's dialing it in. It looks very strong. And she has almost 100 meters on the next competitor. So
yeah, Rachel Shilkowski.
She's really taking it out.
Looking really good back there too. And we have two runners for third and fourth. Looking like that'll be a good battle for a third and fourth. A lap to go.
And
8:01 for Abby Wheeler. Let's see if she can go under 9:10. 9:15.
And let's
She's got to
remember
kick a
her
little
PR
bit.
is 9:08.
Oh wow!
So
Rachel Shilkowski 8:17, 8:18, and we got a really great pack of Brooklyn Track Club runners.
we do.
CPTC,
Leanne Sherrick, Maggie
Leanne Sherrick making a
Sullivan.
move.
Just a great crew. They are dialing it down.
Abby Wheeler, 200 to go, 8:36.
And she looks fantastic. This is what you want to see in an athlete. You want to see a knee drive, a great form. She is in full flight. And she, she's that perfect 1,500 meter to 5K runner. So, she is definitely within her comfort zone at this distance.
Abby Wheeler, it's the Abby Wheeler show for the women's 3K, 100 meters to go. She's going to be just off her PR. 9:08,
Just outside.
9:09, 9:11. Beautiful race.
Just outside of PR.
By Abby Wheeler. 3 seconds off her PR. Rachel Shilkowski, 100 meters to go. Great effort, really running solo by herself.
And then in the most fun thing about New York City distance running for women is this, what is about to happen, which is this
a waterfall about kicking
deluge
people.
of excellence that has just come flying across the finish line.
9:44, 9:45, 9:46, 9:47, 9:50.
I hope some PRs were broken today.
They had to have been. I mean, this really, really great efforts.
And in this, a lot of women who run the marathon, right? So you're seeing a lot of folks dropping down to run really, really fast 3Ks.
That's fun. I mean, that's kind of like you think about silver linings for this whole thing, right? Like you have the opportunity to maybe not do a marathon this year, right? Like you don't have to worry about it. Yeah. All right, we're going to come back to a little bit of analysis, but right now we're going to go to a word from our sponsor, UCAN.
Last year I finished second at the Ironman World Championships. And this right here was my secret weapon. Without UCAN, I wouldn't have run under 250 or gone sub 8 hours. I wouldn't have had the performance of my lifetime. Now in years past, I've struggled with low patches of energy on the run, but last year I was strong all the way to the finish line. Thanks to UCAN, I finally feel like I've nailed my nutrition. I love it, I bet you will too, so give it a try.
Great. Yeah, and so as a sponsor. All right, sorry, we're having a little technical difficulties. We are back. I am with Matt Bach from Generation UCAN. Matt, you're a runner and triathlete. Can you tell us a little bit about UCAN and yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Matt Bach. I'm the director of UCAN's endurance business. And like you said, I'm a runner myself. I love the track. So first of all, just thank you so much for putting this all together. When I first heard about it from Dave Alfano, just being able to support something like this was immediately something we'd be interested in at UCAN, because we want to be able to support the community, the running community. And I love the track myself because I was a runner in high school, a runner at Penn State, and then I started doing triathlon in 2010.
Great. All right, and so as a sponsor, how does kind of UCAN fit into this whole thing?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, UCAN and nutrition kind of like all came about in my life because of the fact that I used to have a sensitive stomach, and I've always had a sensitive stomach. And in my triathlons and in my marathons, my longer distance events, I'd have lots and lots of GI distress, which I'm sure many runners are familiar with. All that bloating and stomach aches and things that are not fun when you're trying to run fast. And so it was in 2014 that I reached out to a sports nutritionist, and I was trying to get this thing nailed down, right? My performances are being held back by nutrition. And so in 2014, I reached out to the sports nutritionist, and she introduced me to UCAN very quickly after I started working with her. I had never heard of it before, but I trusted her, and so I went out and I bought some, started using it in my training, and I found that I was having a lot of success with it. And then the first race that I did with it was at Ironman Maryland about 3 months later, and I had no GI distress at all. I had, for the very first time in an Ironman, I had no problems from a nutritional standpoint, no bonking or anything. So it was this groundbreaking moment for me. I had a 20-minute PR off the bike, so I ended up swimming 2.4 miles, biking 112 miles, and I was able to run 3 flat off the bike in the heat of the day at Ironman Maryland. I had a 51-minute PR, went 8 hours and 51 minutes, and I won the whole race. And so this like, for me, was this monumental, like, epiphany moment. Like, wow, why is not everyone using UCAN already? Because this is so different. I mean, for anybody who is unfamiliar with UCAN, what we're best known for is the carbohydrate that's in our products called superstarch. And it's very different than the other things that you're used to out there that use simple sugars and maltodextrin to fuel you. And those things cause lots of problems with your stomach. And they give you kind of a spike and a crash type of profile with your energy levels. But superstarch is extraordinarily different and really, really compelling for runners.
Yeah, that's really cool that you kind of had a really great experience that compelled you to go and work with UCAN. And so tell us a little bit about like who UCAN is for. Obviously it's for triathletes, but tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely compelling for triathletes, for runners, but it's really for anybody who's a high-performing individual who wants to get themselves to the next level. Athletes who are looking for that next best thing to be able to give you the steady energy that you need to compete, that's easy on the stomach, and that has no sugar. So there's a number of different athletes who use it, like Meb Kufleski came to the brand very, very early on in our days, even before we were a company. He was using it in 2009 at the New York City Marathon, Boston Marathon win to his 2 Olympic trials, Olympic bouts in the 2010s. And he came to it because of recovery. Tim O'Donnell, who you just saw in that video, he came to it so that he could finish stronger at Ironman World Championship last year, where he finished second. I came to it for the GI distress, and Sarah Hall came to it because of the no sugar. She doesn't like to have sugar in her diet, and she came to it so that she could finish really strong at the London Marathon.
Yeah, that performance at London Marathon was absolutely incredible. So how would you say that an athlete would get started with UCAN?
Yeah, the best way is definitely through the UCAN intro bundle. You can find it on our website at ucan.co. And we have a special code set up so that it's $10 off the intro bundle, and that's Big City. So use Big City to order the intro bundle at ucan.co. It's going to give you a smattering of the products that you can give it a try. It's amazing, seriously.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you being here tonight, Matt. Appreciate UCAN helping with this event. And let's get to some action. The 10K just started. We're super excited for that. So I'm going to kick it over to my co-host, Annie. Thanks, Matt.
All right, and so we are now back to the men's 10,000 meters, and we have been kicking it off. You've been watching it, but thanks to Matt from UCAN for sharing all the information.
Of course, and the beauty of live TV. Had a little bit of issue figuring out that interview, but we got it. We got it together.
We all got it together. Let's talk about this 10,000 meters.
Yeah.
We're starting with Olympian Don Cabral,
Yep.
representing the U.S. in 2012 and 2016. And
A Connecticut man.
A Connecticut man. A Connecticut man running for, where did he go to undergrad? Princeton?
Princeton.
Princeton, a Connecticut man running.
Wait, Princeton?
Did I make that up? We'll
I think
look it up.
it was Princeton. I ran against him in Princeton.
That feels right. A Connecticut man racing in New Jersey, now in New York, representing the only club he could, which is Hoka, New Jersey, New York Track Club.
All right, so these guys, they're running 3:30, they're running 4:40 pace, and the reason I know that so well is because that is 29:10 pace, and as a man who was trying to run that pace and did not at one time, I know those splits well, 70, 70, 70 all day. And I believe, I don't know if that's the USA standard, or the US B standard to get into the trials, but it used to be back when I was running. Oh boy, get me out of this, get me out of this.
This story. Back on track and tell you about the other Olympian. I didn't even get to my second Olympian. You were too busy telling me.
God, we have so much time in the...
Whoa. And that is Mohammed Harezai. And he represented Libya in 2016. There's also Zach Zarda and Brendan Martin, our friend Brendan Martin.
Yes, our
from
friend
Finish
Brendan
Line.
Martin. Good to see him out on the track. He was right here before, and now he's on the track.
He's so fast like that, and they will lead this deep field, and hopefully we'll see some sub-30s.
I think, yeah, I mean, we're running 4:40 pace, but again, the 10K is ridiculous. When we talked about, the 5K, just waiting and biding your time, the beauty, yeah, so 4:40, okay, so we're a little bit off that 70 pace, probably running on 71s, 4:44.
Now,
The beauty of the 10K and the way that I've always approached it is it's a 4-mile tempo, 2-mile race. So I think that's how you got to break it down. You're just sitting, and there's so much time here to really kind of just sit. But I think that's where the beauty and magic is in the 10K. It's always kind of difficult to, when your friend, or, like your friend's running the 10K and you're like, oh my God. It's kind of like the high school 2-mile. You're like,
no, when your friend runs a 10K, you have to count for them.
Yes,
that is what,
that's true too.
I'm not joking. If you have a friend, a true friend in a 10K, you are sitting there counting and yelling splits. And so in some ways, this does feel like a traditional 10K, which is typically either the day before in a conference championship or like the last event of the night. So the 10K runner is really well trained for these conditions.
To just wait, sit, be patient. That's the true test. I mean, I never really have any long distance runner like the 10K, half marathon. Be patient, wait, sit. That's all you got to do. And particularly when you're time trialing like these guys,
And
it's just about sitting and waiting.
I want to tell you about one of our athletes in the field who's going to depress you. Because it is Zach Zarda, and he was 8th in the USA's in the 10K in 2008. So this is I know.
Zarda.
So it's,
how do I not know this name?
That's depressing in a way that you competed in 2008 and you are not today, and Zach Zarda's out here crushing it on the track. So I just want to put that all into perspective.
Wow.
You could
Allow
be out
me to
here.
spiral, Anik.
I just wanted to feed that into your brain that you could have been down there
Zarda, my man.
competing today, but instead you were up here with me and your rusty bones.
When you kind of look back, I did what I needed to do. I was happy with what I had to do. I'm very happy on the other side of being here with you and commentating now.
I would give you give you up in 1 minute.
This stuff is so hard.
I would sell you out to get down on that track and race with those athletes
I'm
tonight.
done.
That's the kind of fun they're having.
I appreciate the men and women out tonight. Again, what's been kind of crazy. I'm just gonna get this split. These guys they might be back. Yeah, they're back at 70 pace. They're running 70 the past 220 in the last 800 in that front pack. They're a little bit slower in the back. But these guys are all looking at like sub 30 pace. Everybody says that's sub 30 pace right now.
I like this group here. They're just talking to each other.
Yeah.
That's what you can do in a 10K.
You just sit and talk.
You can have a conversation.
It's coffee talk.
It's coffee talk. Apparently, you can have a conversation.
Now I think we get to talk a little bit on the crux of training through this thing, and I feel like it kind of went two ways. There's this like binary decision process with athletes during the pandemic, and it's like I'm gonna go full-fledged and train and continue to train and continue to try to compete whenever competition started, and happily we're here. Or it's kind of like I'm gonna take time down because I'm just gonna
I'm gonna go get surgery. I'm gonna go heal something. I'm literally gonna reset.
Exactly.
It's a total reset.
It's like the nagging stuff that might have been going on, the surgery you wanted to kind of put off. So like kudos to both, I gotta say. Like kudos to everybody out here tonight because they continued to train, they got after it. But there's no shame in taking some rest time, as we all know. No shame in it.
And we're seeing our friend Brendan Martin from Finish Line Physical Therapy right there
There he
in
is.
the all black.
Looking
passing
good, Brendan.
through, looking good, looking very comfortable. And he, as he said, he is a marathoner.
Yeah.
And that is his preferred distance. And he's raced.
Brendan, I think he's around about 2:15.
Yeah, very fast marathoner. And he's tucked into this pack
He
tonight.
did. He was mentioning, and I did see last week, or a few weeks ago, that he ran the 5K. I think he ran like 14:15 or 14:20 or so.
Very
So he's
respectable.
in really good shape, and I mean, that would definitely indicate some type of sub-30 performance being, running 14:15 or 14:20. So this chase pack, I think, is at that, sub-30 mark. The guys up front are, a bit, looking at probably more like a 29 mid type race, which would be really fun to watch. And they're just churning away. These guys are just churning away.
Yeah, and I love the work that's going on in front. You can't see it at home, but they are just doing a great job.
Yeah, so we've got, who are people up here? Trying to get those hit numbers, and I cannot see.
So Don Cabral is in third. I know that because I used to be on the same team as Don Cabral.
Yes.
It wasn't Princeton. It wasn't Connecticut. It was New Jersey, New York.
New York, New Jersey. New Jersey, New York.
New Jersey, New York.
Nate, did you ever dream of running a 10K?
No. I don't. I mean.
You're supposed to create conversation. Let's improv here. Yes, and
You're not supposed to ask me a question that only has a yes or no answer to it.
That's true.
And that is the 10K. No, I think that this is really, these different distances speak to our personalities as athletes, right? And the athletes who tend to be the true distance men and women, who love this long distance, 25 laps on an outdoor track, they are real just endurance athletes, like true endurance athletes who can handle the load, both mental and physical, that their bodies are undergoing right now. And that they can control their emotions too, right? Because they've got a long way to go.
They do.
Whereas I'm just too excited to race, so.
So we got Don Cabral up there, and then hit number.
We've already lost some hip numbers. John's putting on his glasses.
I don't know if they worked or not, but I think it's 14. It's it's Zach Zarda. All right, so Zach Zarda and Don
Zach
Cabral.
Zarda, who's making you feel bad about yourself.
He's
the man who is
he's
humiliating.
He's physically shaming me on the track.
Zach Zarda, who could be John Phillips, had John Phillips continued to train, but he had not. Two-time All-American at NYU. Had he continued to train, he could have been someone tonight.
I mean, I did keep training. I just didn't run as fast as Zach Zarda here.
And Zach Zarda looks really comfortable right now. So it's great to see athletes continue to race. And that is the pack that we are looking at.
We got a great chase pack led by
really
Hit
do.
6, Sean O'Connor from Heartbeat Track Club, with a seat time of 29:25. And again, I think those guys are, a bit on. We'll see at that 5K split. I'll give you a little bit better of an indicator of, I think, what kind of pace we're on here. But up front, we've got Zarda, Cabral, and Masai, Alex Masai as the pacer. Coming off that beautiful mile race.
He definitely has a great workout going on to double back and help out.
Yeah. Great. I mean, last three-quarter split, 3:29. These guys are just running, like, again, clockwork. We're looking at that 4:40, 29:10 pace. All right, so those guys are at about 11:56. Big old chase pack. And again, that's probably going to be right at that 30-minute mark, maybe a shade under. We'll get that 5K split. Just clockwork. Masai. I mean, Masai also a 7:53, 13:27 guy. So he's probably feeling, in his element, pretty comfortable here, running 70s, particularly after running 4:01. He's probably just chilling. And Zarda and Cabral just in a rhythm. Clicking off 70.8, beautiful, running that 4:40 pace.
Yeah, and
these guys are looking good. I'm gonna split these guys in the back here too, just so we can get a better understanding of where they are on pace.
And you can see how they are working together, and Brendan Martin's moving up into third in that chase pack, which is nice to see.
They're 15 seconds back on
they're
those guys.
moving.
Yeah.
They really are, and they do have the benefit of more people to take more of the lead.
Yeah.
And as
Yeah, they're just working together. I mean, it's
they do.
I did a lot of pacing when I was coaching at NYU at Unique.
And how did that go? Tell me about that, John.
Yeah, I did a really fun pace. It was at Swarthmore.
Last
of course,
chance.
Last chance.
Last chance.
And I was pacing an athlete, an NYU athlete, and I always love pacing because I felt, similar to Daniel Wynn, metronomic.
Yeah, I often think about you and Daniel Wynn in the same sentence.
Yeah,
You two occupy the same part of my mind.
But I loved when I was coaching, loved pacing the athletes together, and we were chasing, an NCAA qualifier because we had the last chance meet. And I was coaching and I was training, but I might have, maybe gone out on the Sunday night, had a few drinks because it's on Monday. I don't know. I was a young guy.
Do as I say, not as I do type training model.
And I was like, not feeling too hot that day. And all right, I'm gonna get these guys. Yeah, I mean these guys are running 71.9, 72 flat.
No, I love Brendan Martin is now coming
pace.
on the shoulder there. So convenient that we introduced him earlier to you in the cast tonight, so you can follow him as he's starting to take this charge of this second chase pack here. It looks great.
Yeah, I mean 4:48 pace. You're looking at. 20, yeah, we're looking at sub 30, 29:49, 29:50 pace. And Alex Masai stepping off the track as in the pacing duties.
Getting some well-earned rest.
14:57 through 5,000 meters. That is a half.
14:57 through 5K, so we're looking at a little bit under 30 for that chase pack. And then I believe we're on 29:15 pace up front with Carta and Don Cabral. So as I was saying, hit the track.
Yes.
And
then Brendan Martin, I'm going to interrupt you because we're going to actually talk about Brendan Martin is now officially taking the lead on this chase pack.
Loving
which
it.
is great to see. He's a
And he's
tremendous
looking
athlete.
really strong.
He looks fantastic. I have to say, he's starting to put a little gap on it.
And that was 71 too. So those guys are running 440, 444, 445 pace. And that's great. As long as you can feel really good. I mean, it's with anything. You come through halfway and you feel really good. You're gonna, ideally, hopefully have a pretty good race. The wheels can come off a little bit on that, last mile there for the 10K because it's a long one.
Yes, back to you. Yes. Back to your glory days of you. Okay, let's set the scene.
That's really me pacing. Anyway,
Here.
I go out pacing. I wasn't feeling super great, but hit 74. We're going out for, I think it was like 30 pace, and just remember hitting 74, and again, Anique, I'm metronomic, 74, 456.
A Daniel Wynn, you could say.
Or no, I think it was also it might have been 70, 73, 452, I don't know, whatever it was. And it was another one of those situations where the pacer, the old NYU coach, is saying, John, keep going. I was only supposed to do 4 miles. I know the athlete, he needed a little bit of help, Those guys, again, Brendan Martin hitting about 70, 72, 71, 72.
Very experienced racer, races with a lot of professional fields in the larger marathons, ran in New York.
Brendan Martin metronomic here.
The Brendan Martin, we have a new contender. It's the Brendan Martin. Daniel Wynn, sit down. Brendan Martin, step up. Basically, John, I really like if you're a very strong pacer.
I just love a good pace.
Good pacer, I can't
Good
with
pacing
that.
duties.
A good pacer with that. So did you go? I think you're leaving us with the cliffhanger. How far did you go in this 10K?
So obviously the old 10K's got 25 laps. Hit 4 miles, kept going. Hit 5 miles, kept going. I ran 24 of 25 laps for pacing duty. And my athlete did hit a national qualifier. But I think...
Why? Why did you not do the last lap?
Great question. Because I was just the pacer. I wasn't supposed to go that far. I brought him and I was like, you know what, dude, it's your duty. You got 1 lap to do by yourself. Go for it.
You take me 24 laps.
No.
I don't care happen. I don't care if my legs are broken. I'm going that last lap. I've gone that far.
Not a chance.
I'm getting an official time on that. You are not a pacer if you go 24
The young
laps.
athlete had to learn. The young athlete. It's over pacing duties.
John, if you go 24 laps out of a 25 lap race, you're barely a pacer. You're a poor racer. Oh my gosh, that's a terrible story. I don't know what the lesson to glean from that one is. That's like me running the 1500, but I go 1400 meters.
Dedication. That's coaching dedication to get your
I
athletes
cannot begin to
24
unpack what that is. But let's talk about something we can unpack, and that is Brendan Martin here in this chase pack. A true, beautiful chase pack.
I did get I'm going to split these guys, Cabral and Carta up front here.
And Cabral and Zarda, although they are off screen, they have changed up positioning, which is great to see in this long race. And
beautiful.
So,
it seems like they're still clocking 70.4. 70.4 up front. So still on that 440, 29.15, 29.20-ish pace. Brent Martin, 19.05 at the 4 mile. Beautiful.
And you can just see Zarda and Cabral in the back left corner of your screen, and off they went.
Yeah, we've got two really, so we've got Zarda and Cabral up front looking at, 29, 20, 29.10 pace if they continue. We've got 2 miles to go after this lap, 9 to go.
And Zarda and Cabral are very experienced athletes. You know, you
Absolutely.
have Zarda in 2009, I believe it was called, 2008. Getting 8th in the 10K. And if you remember the U.S. men in the 10K in 2008, it was a really fun group, right?
Yep.
That was like a deep, exciting group. You had like some young Zelinskis, young Tegenkamps, and to get 8th in that American field is great, and see him doing it tonight. And for Cabral, who's a 2-time Olympian, right? You've got him in 2012 in London, 2016 in Rio.
Like rounding into shape, right? I don't know what kind of fitness he's in, but as a 2-time Olympian, Brendan Martin. They've got 2 miles to go here. Well within the sub 30 pace here for that lead group or that second chase pack.
Passing the 7,000 meter mark up front. 3,000 meters to go. Zach's already gone to Lowell. Working together.
These are the times where you wish you had the crowd here, because for a 10K, you need it. You need the crowd.
You need the crowd.
It's lonely out there right now.
I think my favorite 10K experience would be at Princeton. I believe you went to these.
Larry Ellis,
Princeton, and they had these 10Ks late at night, and it was like true dedication the day before the rest of the competition, and you would just have these insane performances, right?
Yeah.
And the infield would be packed, and the Larry Ellis was just like the 10K was a night of distance.
Yeah, Larry Ellis and Sam Howell.
Sam Howell was the other ones that Princeton would host, and both just tremendous local races that you would get really good professional talent, and you'd get a lot of Ivy talent, and it makes it fun. And what's nice that we're seeing in this chase pack that they have people to work with, right? Because the 10K is really too long to go alone. And expect to get a fast result. It's very, very hard to tempo or to front run a race like this and expect something good. So I'm very happy to see that these athletes, for the most part, have someone with them in this journey to 25 laps, or 24 if you're the pacer.
I mean, this is kind of crazy, we've got a really great metro area group, and you're constrained by distance. Not everybody can just come to this track race. You got to be kind of close. We've got 2 guys going to be running somewhere around 29:10, 29:20, and then we got a group of chase pack probably going to be running more like 29:40 or something.
And then we have another change off on this, and I wonder if this is intentional or if they are just pushing the pace. But I love it. There's a really great piece of front running work going on with these two, where they're each taking the lead.
71.9 on that last lap, and I'm going to split Brendan Martin on this next lap. But it looks, they're slowing a little bit, which happens kind of in the 10K as those later stages, and maybe they'll kind of wind up and run a bit of a quicker last mile. Brendan Martin in the chase pack, 18 seconds back. So if they don't keep that pace, they're going to be probably looking more towards like a 29:30, 29:40 potentially. You can really, that's the crazy thing about the longer distance. You start chipping away, losing a mile or a second or two per pace to per lap.
And then it
starts adding up.
It really does.
But we're 23 minutes into this race, and they're coming up on 5 laps to go, 2K.
But Zach Zarda coming in with a seed time of 28:35.
Yeah.
So he came here looking to get some work done.
8K split at 23:34.
Woo! 5 miles. And Don Cabral coming in with 29 flat as his seed time. So seed times just tell us intention of athletes' expectations, just to help
Brendan Martin looking
help
really
field directors,
strong.
help the other athletes figure out where to be and what to do.
Brendan Martin putting a little heat on the pace, 70.7 on that last lap with the chase pack in tow.
And here we see the true damage of the 10,000 meters all over the tracks.
Yeah.
It is truly. But we see Brendan Martin. I love it. I love when athletes decide that they're done, but in a good way. Not like they're gonna drop out that last lap, but they're gonna.
I mean, 2K. It's time to go.
It's time to go. You gotta
time to go.
You gotta go. You gotta go. My college coach would stand on the side of the track and he would just yell, "Go now!" And when you were in the right place, you were like, "Yes." It was like the voice of God. You'd be like, I'll do it. And then when you were in a bad place, you were like, no, you go. You go. No, you go. Right? And so Brendan Martin, someone said to him, you go
4
now.
laps to go. We got a mile to go. 24:46 with Don Cabral and Zach Zarda in the lead. Brendan Martin in tow.
And that's Brendan Martin in the 3rd position.
Let's see if we can get. That's hit number 2. Everett Hackett.
From Heartbeat TC.
Sean O'Connor and Sam Gia. Wow, these guys are running fast. Damn it, I missed the...
The run so fast, you just totally missed your splits. But this is a great race. Like this is the sort of race that you are happy to watch as an athlete because there's a lot of work going on. There's a beautiful piece of front running happening, right?
Yeah.
You've got this Olympian, 2-time Olympian, and then you've got this, very competitive 10K athlete who for some reason has not become decrepit like you and I. Has resisted the ravages of time. Like
he
you
must
and
take
I.
his multivitamin. Like I stopped doing the multivitamins.
I do not understand what's happening. I'll be talking to him later.
Zach Zarda, hats off to you,
lead.
good sir. In your longevity, I am wildly jealous.
We will just sit up here and hurt. And then you have a really, really fun chase pack happening, right? And you have like Brendan Martin is putting himself, he's 50 to 70 meters away, but he is working extremely hard, and as are his chase group. So it's really great to see them all.
Everett Hackett, Sean O'Connor, Sam Gia. These guys, I hope the people at home are having fun. The 10K can be a long race to watch, but we have really, really cool stories like we're talking about coming up and really fast times.
Yeah.
We got nearly a K to go. And I think I got their split. I'm gonna try to split these guys last 2. Zach Zarda, Don Cabral up front. Now they get the benefit of lapping runners, so they have people ahead. That will really pull them in these last 2 laps.
Yeah, you can't
800
underestimate.
meters to go.
You can't underestimate what it means to have something to focus your eyes on up ahead.
Exactly. 2 laps to go, 27:09. If we're looking at the same pace, we're looking at a 29:30. I think they'll probably wind it up a little bit. And Brendan Martin in tow, 18 seconds or 16 or 18 seconds back. So he's looking for definitely sub 30 performance.
And he is hunting.
Yeah.
When you see someone run like that, it can only be described as hunting.
He's hunting.
He's hunting. Brendan is hunting something, and we hope he gets it.
I mean, again, he's got the benefit of these lapped runners, and
He is effectively in no man's land.
he is.
You know,
But he looks really
he
strong.
looks very
really,
comfortable.
And with 500 to go, we still have a two-man race.
This is going to be a fun. Rarely does the 10K come down to this.
This is the most fun. I would like to thank these two men for doing this.
All right, who do you got?
This
Who
is
do you
the
got?
kind
All
of
right,
stuff.
Cabral's pulling away right now.
Cabral is reaching in to
And we got the bell lap.
find something deep.
Bell lap. Cabral taking it.
Cabral
28-20.
taking out. Zach Zarda checking his watch.
Zach Zarda. I think it's going to be Don Cabral. He is just pulling away.
He is. You can see the shine of his spikes as he does that too. You really can.
All right, and we got in the
He's
back.
got a beautiful turnover.
Brendan Martin coming through at 28:35.
Brendan McMartin.
Sam Gia. Everett Hackett. Sam Gia coming in at 28:45. Everett coming in 28:40. These guys are going to be all under 30 if they push. We've got a bunch of guys going to be sub 30, and it looks like
you would not know Don Cabral had just run a 10K because how fast his turnover is. This looks like 3K, 5K work right now.
I think
It is
he was sitting. He was sitting,
fantastic.
and now he's just crushing it.
He looks behind him as if there's anyone behind him.
Nobody's behind you, Don.
There is not, but he is reaching
Beautiful.
deep for this beautiful performance. He is arm swelling. He keeps looking back. There's no one, Don. Keep going, man.
And look at this. Look at the split. 62-4 on the last lap. 29-28.
And charging down
Cabral about
straight away is
29-20.
Brendan Martin.
Brendan Martin.
Who ran a smart race.
Beautiful
a
race.
beautiful
29-40.
race.
29-40. Sam Gea. 29-48. Everett Hackett 29-50. 29-54. And that I think will be our last runner under 30 minutes. I don't know how to count on. I think there's 5, 6, 7 guys under 30 minutes.
That was a fantastic
On
race.
a beautiful night in New York City.
It looked
in
like
October.
In October on the track at Icon Stadium. Did you know we were there? We haven't said it
October
9 to 7 times. 10Ks in October. And no, they're not grass fields of Wisconsin. They are at Icon Stadium on a blue oval.
On a blue oval.
A blue oval.
Still runners coming in at 30-25, 30-26.
It is like every outdoor runner's dream.
30-30.
Track all fall long.
Woo!
And we are getting
30-36.
strong finishes.
30-37.
We're seeing fist pumps. Don Cabral's already out of his shoes.
There's glittery spikes.
Those glittering spikes. Showing everyone the backside of those spikes. Show it. What is the once a runner quote? A clean pair of. Showing everyone a clean pair of.
Clean pair of spikes
heels?
looks like. I don't know. It's been a while since I read that.
I don't know if
one.
you've read that book enough.
No, of course I read that
Once a
one.
runner, they're in the bar.
Yeah.
Bruce Denn's there.
Bruce Denn's there.
Wail on him, the demons. No, it's okay. I'll lend you my copy.
I got it.
I'm not sure you got
Trials
it.
of Miles.
I'm not sure you
Trials
got
of
it.
Miles.
I'm not sure you got it.
These
It's okay.
guys,
If you're
Trials
not
of
a fan,
Miles.
it's no.
Oh, get out of
Fine.
here. You're killing
Fine.
me. All right. We've got this. Hats off to the event team here because we're running on time and on schedule.
A rarity.
On time and on schedule.
A rarity, but it is really.
8:57 in our last 10K runner finishing up. Oh, we still got another 10K runner coming through. An incredible night of racing. Like again, it's kind of flown by too.
It is. The amount of PRs, state records, and just good old-fashioned hunting down a season's best. Just going out and getting the season's best that I have found.
A season best. I mean, a season best in 2020 is not that hard, right?
Well, okay.
But we'll take it.
Fine.
But to be honest, let's be real.
I would take honestly
a close to your personal record, breaking your personal record, being even near it.
A strong performance in these
like,
times.
straight up, that's incredible.
You know, you're talking about athletes who are not near their collegiate teams.
Yeah.
You're talking about athletes who are living in different homes.
Yeah.
Like their parents.
Yeah. Who would that be?
who aren't able to go anywhere. I don't know any of them. You know, it's just a great piece of competition tonight in a time when there's not a lot of competition. So let's talk about the women's 10K.
Yeah, last race of the
so
night,
excited.
Anique.
I am.
And this is going to be an incredible one. All right, let's take us through it.
All right, so this is the women's 10,000 meters, and we have Ali Kiefer. She recently ran a solo 15:41, a 5K on the track, right? And so that was a very, very strong performance for her. And she looks to build upon that, build upon her 32:09 10K personal best. So that's, folks, put that in your brain. It is 39:02 that we are hoping to see from Ali today. With that is Jackie Smith, who recently graduated from Air Force and will be looking to challenge the Olympic trials 10K standard of 30:20.
I think it's got to be 32:20.
I think it's got to be 32:20.
Call it 30:20.
We were given some some notes there. We're going to amend that, and John's going to look it up. But we do want to get the Olympic trials 10K standard for you because unless they are men, they cannot run that. So chasing Kiefer and Smith will be a deep field including sub 16 5K runner, Lindsay Chervorsiet, 33:06 10K runner Reagan Rome, 20:36 marathoner Marie-Ange Brulotte, and others who will look to challenge the 34-minute barrier. And John Phillips is going to come to us with that.
I'm seeing on usatf.org that it's 32:25.
32:25. All right.
So we're going for that standard. And everybody's lining up. Thanks for reading through that field, Anik.
Let's get to it. So we've got.
Again, we are right on time. 9 o'clock.
All right.
Running
So-
a beautifully executed meet.
And
Appreciate
so,
being on time.
closest to us, if we're looking at lane almost 8, standing a little bit in the front in the pink top with the bun, the messy bun, which is her notable signature bun, is Ali Kiefer, and with the 10K PR, as we said, of 32:09, and she's hoping to do better than that tonight. She's also a 1:10 marathoner, and she's run 2:28 in the marathon, placing very high in the New York City Marathon. Jackie Smith is also in the race, which is 5K PR of 15:38 and 10K PR of 32:28. So that'll be her main competition nights. Other notables: Carrie Ruffo, Lindsay Chervorsiet, Grace Mancy from LaSalle, Marie-Ange Brulotte, Queens distance runners, Nina Zorina, Elise Ramirez, Rosie Nascoli from Philly Runner, shout out to Philadelphia, Isabella Caruso, Abby Taylor from CPTZ, Victoria Robatiai, Reagan Rome, Anna Johnson, and that is our field.
You have 33:06 10K runner.
All right.
Reagan Rome. You have Marie-Ange Brulotte, who's run 2:36 for the marathon.
And it looks like we're already establishing kind of two different fields here. We've got the pacer. We unfortunately don't have her name. And
Wait, didn't she win? Isn't she our winner? Isn't she our Stanford winner in that? Recognize that running form?
yeah.
That's our Stanford winner. Give us a second, we'll find you our pacer.
76.
Among our many. I believe that's Maddie. Maddie, is that you?
Next up, 83 seconds.
I believe that's Maddie Berkson.
If you say so, Anik.
We'll go with that for now. We'll go with that for now. But already we see an immediate breakaway, right? And so they are going after a time. The pacer is pulling Ali to it.
Came through in 76, so 5:04 pace.
And then you
So
saw Jackie there. Jackie there in her her very snazzy Air Force uniform. So I'm presuming no one else is wearing that uniform tonight.
Yes.
And she is in second effectively.
But already kind of positioning herself a little bit like, off the hot pace.
A true
but
hot
then
pace here.
in front of the chase pack. So, a tough position to be in early on in the race.
And then this is also one of those races that is such a beneficiary of the talent in the New York City region, right?
Absolutely.
And so we see a huge amount of successful 10K, half marathon, marathoners. I think the amount of so many of these women have tremendous marathon PRs, like exceptionally fast. We're talking like 2:36 marathon times, like Marie-Ange, Nina, Zarina running a 2:41. We're just very fast marathon times. Anna Johnson's 2:43. And so they are coming down a distance, but they themselves are very accomplished with Jackie Smith running a 2:36 marathon. I almost want these women to run a marathon after this. I don't know. I got stuff.
on the track. Let's
you know,
go.
just come on. Let's take it to the roads. I might know the course. Let's go. I'll shut down the bridge. And I think that's really where we all fell in love with Ali Kiefer, who is, leading this race. So much was in, her lead up to the New York City Marathon, and when she had such a knockout performance. She had shared her story of being like an au pair, a nanny, stepping away from the sport, coming back. She ran at Wake Forest, and really had a team there that it sounds like wasn't able to support her in the ways that every athlete needs to be supported. And she shares so much of that journey with us, right? She shares it on social media, she shares it in interviews. It makes her a very compelling athlete. And it's tremendous when athletes can do that. They don't have to do that, but when they are able to sort of break that third wall and tell their story and share their challenges, and it really makes you connect with them. And so when we see Ali go off like this, it's not boring that it's one person going from the front, just driving. It's very exciting to see her hunt down the goals that she has made very plain to all her friends and followers and family. And so we love to see these efforts in action.
Yeah, and it's looking like it's going to be a Ali Kiefer and pacer duties up front, and kind of as before, looking at those chase pack. But the chase pack is they're running quick, right? Like, let's just break it down. they're running fast. Up front, we're looking to chase, a U.S. standard.
If you're hunting down a U.S. standard, you're looking for rarefied air, right?
Sure.
You're looking for things that are hard in good days, on good years, and good conditions. And in hard years, this is a good day. We'll take it. This is good weather.
This is beautiful 10K.
It's a beautiful, this is cross-country weather, but on a track.
Yeah, exactly.
That's actually what you have right now.
Like, super low humidity. It's like, it feels like a little bit of a chill, but it's still warm. I mean, this is perfect 10K weather. I would love to run a 10K.
This is what you look for.
All right, we got Kiefer and the pacer coming through in 5:10.
Which is about 16:04 or 5 pace.
And our chase pack, I'm going to split our chase pack back here. They're coming through in 5:27 pace. So let me do some quick math
We're gonna get John on the calculatrice over here, and he's gonna do some math for us today.
So we've got this chase pack running super fast. They're running 33:50 pace. So looking at the 34-minute mark, which is I think what they were intending to do tonight, which is silly fast. I mean, at a very, very elite level, running under 34 is super solid.
I think what needs to be said here is for women, especially these 10K runners, right, who many of them are not professional runners.
Yeah.
They have full-time jobs.
Yeah.
They are doing other things. They are pursuing this as a second career, right? It's like almost a full second part of them. For them to find these opportunities, they're not always available, right? We know collegiate invitationals are there. We know those are sometimes options. But what we're really looking for tonight is for all these women who know each other, who train together, or race each other, at least in this New York City region, to have an opportunity to really hunt down that 34-minute barrier. And now we have had our pacer step off the track, and Kiefer is just out there doing a piece of front running. She ditched her hip number. I do not blame her. But I know she is, so she's okay on this one. Who needs a hip number when it's hitting you and flapping? And she looks extremely strong, and she has done really great pieces of front running like this before, right? So this is in her wheelhouse as an athlete. This is not, I don't see her here and say, I'm worried about her. I see her here and I say, she looks really great. Keep it going. And so there we have, I believe, Anna Johnson from NYC Distance Project.
In that pace group was led by Grace Mancini and Carrie Ruffo, slowing down to pace just a little bit to 84. I think if they're working a pack, somebody's got to maybe step up, and you can see them bunching up right now. I'm not sure, the camera's not on it, but they're bunching up a little bit.
Well, and the reason they're doing that is because, to be completely blunt, you don't want to be the leader of the gang, right?
No.
It does exhaust you.
You've got 19 laps to go. You don't want to be leading, but somebody's got to lead up there.
Somebody does have to lead.
All right, we got Ali Kiefer up front, coming through all by herself now, and
have 50 meters on Jackie Smith right now,
Yes.
but both of them look really good. And then this pack is almost 3 wide. So if you see this chase pack, it's not on your screen, but hopefully it will be. It is 3 wide and almost running into the photographer because they're sort of figuring out who's going to be the lead. And then here in this the second chase pack, we have Isabella Caruso. We have hip 12, Abby Taylor. We have Anna Johnson, who is hip number 11, and 6 is Victoria Robitaille. So I think I'm making French, and it's probably not French. Allie Kiefer is looking like she's running a 5K at this point
She
in the
looks
race.
super comfortable.
On
Very relaxed.
camera, it's always funny how the camera sort of steals some of the speed, but in person, you can tell her
She's
turnover
flying.
is really great.
Yeah,
She's looking
and
very
she's coming through 70, 76. She's
And-
still on 5:04 pace, running about 32 minutes. Yeah, I mean, but she's got a lot of way to go. Like I said before, the 10K, you know, is that 4-mile tempo and the 2-mile race plus a little extra.
Plus a little extra just for
and
fun.
It's
Leaders just past 20 meters.
but it's a long way to go. It's tough. This one's tough by herself.
She really does. She's known for being a tough athlete on the track. She can go out and hammer a really hard effort.
That's true.
You know, that's something she is very capable of doing. And then I just love this chase pack too. If they can keep the momentum going, it's not really much of a chase pack because it's almost 200 meters behind.
They're pretty much just running on their own.
But the second pack is doing a fantastic job, really working on their effort.
Yeah, and Jackie Smith is really hanging tough.
Jackie
I mean,
Smith maybe has one of the hardest. Like literally, if I were to pick a person who I said I'm most worried about you, it is the person who's not winning.
Yeah, it's
They
true.
don't have the benefit of being in the winning spot.
Yeah.
But they are also isolated and they are thoughtful of who is behind them, right? So they're really thinking about who is coming behind them.
Yeah. Jackie Smith, I mean, a 32:28 10K, 110:42 half, 2:36 marathoner. So she's
Following very closely is Jackie Smith, who's going to hit 3,200 in about 10:30.
10:30, 5:15 pace for Jackie Smith. We got a bit of ways to run. But still, you know, looks super smooth. Just doing some my math here.
And-
32:37. I mean, she's
And don't worry, I just received a text from my mother that Dom Cabral did go to Princeton.
very nice. Thank you, Miss Lamar.
So
for the
Michelle Lamar is making sure she's fact checking us in real time. She knows her Central Jersey athletes.
We always appreciate a good fact
A good
check.
fact check. My mom actually, I would have to say, would hate this event. She would absolutely hate it, and for one very specific reason. No, she would like it because you could see a lot of me, right? Like I flew all the way to Iowa once to run for 2 minutes.
Yes.
So that was a nightmare.
So, but it's not about the time, you know.
But I think my mother would much prefer to see me here for 30 minutes, 35 minutes than not at all. But my mother, when I ran
She's
the 800,
quantity. She wants the quantity.
She wants the quantity.
She wants the quantity.
I once ran a 2-lap race, also known as the 800 meter distance, and my mother forgot what lap I was on.
Ah, yes.
In a 2-lap race.
Yes.
So 25 laps would present quite the challenge.
That would be
she
difficult.
she would not know if I was like where in the world I was. And my father would know exactly where I was. So
He'd be dialed in. He'd be
but she's a
dialed in.
very enthusiastic cheerer. She's
Yes.
a perfect track
It's
parent
nice to
in that
have
sense.
the old parents at the races.
I never turned
celebrating,
them away. They have been to Icon. They have been here.
No,
when
I've never raced here actually. It's kind of crazy.
I had an absolutely terrible race. I was very moody about it. So
Let's talk about that.
No, let's not talk about that. No, I do not need to talk about a tragic 1,500 meters that happened 10 years ago or whatnot.
Was it here at the Diamond League? Did you do some Diamond
No,
Leagues?
it was just like a. I was overtrained and I didn't know it. And so you're trying.
Overtrained and didn't know it. That would be my biography.
It was 2012 and I was
write that one.
chasing the Olympic trials.
Overtrained and didn't know it.
So.
Allie Kiefer slowing down I don't know. I got a 78.2 on that. Oh yeah, so she's good. She's good. She's good.
And so Ali Kiefer, who has lapped
Yeah, lapped the pack.
a portion of the field, and
Jackie Smith about 17 seconds behind. Looks really good though. Again, you know, she's in that space of chasing, but still like being really, you know. Let me just get back to it. Metronomic.
Please don't. So, okay, let's just recap in case you're just joining us for the first time tonight. First, we talked about Daniel Wynn, and we were just overwhelmed with his pacing capabilities. Then, we turned all of our affection onto Brenton Martin, who was just a metronome of his own. And then we now look to Jackie Smith for a similar.
But we're talking. This is the oh man, I'm at a loss for words because we were talking so much. But the pinnacle of pacing, you know, in the 10K, if you can just be, again, metronomic in your pacing, you're gonna run a great 10K because you don't really need to, like, you know, that last 2 seconds or 2 laps you can really dial it up, but you really just need to be like clicking it off.
Well,
And Kiefer, Jackie, the whole crew is doing exactly that.
There really is something to be said, and this is where the mental side of the athlete comes into play.
Yep.
You need to be able to detach yourself from how you feel physically and mentally and execute lap after lap after lap. And you have to be able to like this. This has to be a place where you're very comfortable as an athlete and you find yourself like succeeding here. If you happen to be an emotional athlete like myself, 10,000 meters would just be a push-pull race. But if you're Ali Kiefer or Jackie out here,
This is
Jackie
your comfort
Smith,
zone.
this is your comfort zone. You do long runs like this, you do tempos like this, you put together threshold workout that is just sort of endless and repetitive but not boring, but you're able to manage the load physically and emotionally of the work.
Yeah, and exactly, as the announcer's talking about, Jackie Smith kind of slowly, you know, inching a little bit, maybe kind of getting that gap a little bit on Kiefer. I'm gonna split Jackie here. Kiefer, again, doing really great pacing in our last 2 laps, 78.2, 78.4. And will probably be similar, 15, I don't know, I can't do the math there, but she's 70, yeah, that was another 77, 78, beautiful. But let's see what Jackie Smith is running.
I think this might be the thing
she might be like you know, a half second a lap, and we still got a lot of laps left though.
And
So,
you do that. I'm gonna start reading hip numbers. We just saw Carrie Ruffo in there, in that pack.
yeah,
with
Jackie
Grace
Smith,
Mancini.
77.6.
All right.
So she might be chipping away half second by half second. We got a lot of laps. I'm also gonna split this this chase pack out here. Who do we have in this chase pack? We can't see. All right. Oh, and 16:07.
So that is
So she's
16:07 for Ali.
32.15 pace.
Let's talk at the same time. Would you?
Penny, please.
We're talking about 16:07 was Ali Kiefer's 5K split. 16:21 was
Smith.
Jackie Smith. What were you going to say before we decided to yell
You
at each
took
other?
the words right out of my mouth, as Meatloaf said.
Did I?
So we've got Ali Kiefer at 32.15 pace. We've got Jackie Smith at 32.40 pace, 42 pace.
And that's really the difference in the 10K, right? Like they are just 50 meters away from each other. But when you extrapolate that out over another 5K, you end up with quite a big distance in between. So it's why Jackie has to keep moving for this to be a race. For her to see if she can challenge Ali Kiefer, who is holding very strong.
Yeah, Chase Pack had gone through the 5K in about 16:50. I didn't catch their exact split, but they're under 34 plate, 4-minute pace. So I think they're on their exact goal pace and looking really, really smooth. I'm going to catch their split here.
And for this pack, their goal is to stay in it, navigate the highs and lows, and not get off pace, right? Not get off the pack. Because when you get off these packs, when you fall off the back, it is almost game over unless you have a Herculean recovery. And this is very interesting that they're three across, right? So you see folks really wanting to pick up the pace or push the pace or keep it moving. And then when you see that bunching, you know that there's some challenge going on in a good way.
I'm gonna catch Kiefer split here.
John has multiple watches.
And I'm growing more and more confused. So.
He's got all the watches.
All right, I'm gonna catch Kiefer split here, but we got Jackie Smith only 12 seconds behind now. She's catching up. She was about 18 seconds behind. She's catching up.
She is. And you can see it on the track.
She's running her own race.
She was, I almost said an hour behind. She was almost 100 meters behind, and now she's about 50 to 70 meters behind.
Yeah. And Kiefer catching up to another pack here, which is good. You gotta have this.
You gotta have this. Kiefer is a true competitor, right? And so you can almost see her pick up her pace. You know, it's like very slight, but you can see her sort of go into her form more, and she gets ready to overtake this large group. And so for this pack, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Allie will have lapped everyone except Jackie Smith,
yes,
who's doing the hunting of her own.
Yep. And in this pack, again, our pack that went through at about 16:50 under that 34-minute pace, they're doing a great job of just splitting 84, 85, just like dialed in. Kiefer at a 77.9.
And it was sort of interesting. Allie is running by this pack, and it's sort of fragmenting as she's doing it, right? And so there's the energy of her pace and their pace, and you could tell that they were trying to figure out who wanted to go, who wanted to take it, and I think by Allie passing them, she's effectively reminded them to keep moving,
it's like
keep
a little
pushing.
pace injection. It kind of like helps her to kind of get around, but then if you're in that kind of maybe stagnant feeling, you'll start kind of like being like, all right, is it my time to go? I mean, we're at 20 minutes right here. We got 10 laps to go about, and 11 for some, but it'll kind of provide a little bit of injection, which we're seeing. We're seeing that pace
strings out a little bit.
String out just a little bit.
Which is good.
And they're, she's running 77s. They're running 84. So, is it time to put in, a surge of, 3-4 seconds for your pace? I don't know.
And John, tell me. So when you are running the 5K,
10K?
That's the one. That's the one. No, I meant the two back-to-back 5Ks that we tend to call the 10K. Do you follow moods? If you are feeling good, when do you take risks in the race? Do you, would this be a time to take a risk in the race? When can you actually say, I'm going to do this, throw down the hammer, and actually not blow up?
Yeah, 81 for that chase pack. Jackie Smith coming through at 77 too. Looking great. I'll get Kiefer split next time. But Anik, to answer your question, again, I think it's patience, right? It's patience with the half marathon, with the marathon, with the 10K. Like you have to hold it in. You can feel really, really great, and you can maybe dial the pace in just a little bit, but you don't want to go too quickly. You don't want to go with, at 5K because you feel really good at 5K. Like you want to make sure that you're holding back. I'd say 2 mile, start dialing that in. Start feeling good. Start winding up that pace. A mile, go. You feel great? Go for the mile. But again, it's that test and patience. You just want to be. What's the word, Anik?
Patient.
Or?
A metronome? Are you serious? Are you serious? I'm just going to walk off this set on this one. You bring up metronomes again. So we have Anna Johnson here, changing the topic dramatically. Anna Johnson looking strong from New York, NYC Distance Project. And Allie Kiefer should be crossing through. Nope, we lost her on that.
No, I got Kiefer. I'm going to get her. She's 8 laps to go. 22:04.
And I have to tell you, Jackie Smith is right there. Part of the problem of the 10K is it is such a jumble, right? And so you actually find people lapping each other, which is natural to happen, and you can't actually see, and all of a sudden it emerges.
Yep.
And Jackie Smith is in a hunting position, like a true hunting position, and she is, 20 meters back. And that is what we're seeing on the backstretch right now.
Yeah. I mean, she's definitely gotten. Look at her go.
That is Jackie in the blue.
Look at her go. Let's see if we can get
3.
that gap between her and Allie. But she's literally going to make up. She's going to be with Allie Kiefer within the next maybe 200 meters, or at least the next lap.
Or I would say in the next 100 meters.
She's closing quick.
It's very dramatic how quick she's closing.
So maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe when do you make the move? Maybe
Uh,
for Jackie
I mean,
Smith, it's
Jackie
right now.
Smith, you gotta go.
It's right now.
She missed your memo about sitting on the sidelines, and she's getting in the game.
But she's been so dialed in.
She
She's
has
running
been.
her race. It's
Immediately,
like very Des Linden-esque.
It's very
Like
Des
she just-
Linden-esque. The gun went off, and she just let Allie go.
Yeah.
She said, "See you later,
Let the pacer
alligator."
go. I'm gonna run my race today.
And now we're seeing her
16:21
run.
at the 5K, and I'm gonna get her split right here. I think I had her. So 81. So they're slowing down a little bit, but Kiefer is tying up a bit, and I think it's gonna be Jackie Smith's race to win here.
I do love these athletes who are giving us such great races to watch today.
Yeah.
To have these amazing 10Ks back to back has just been such a fun thing to watch live and to have in a sort of drought of sports. And so there they are together on the top of your screen in a blue and pink. As Jackie Smith has overtaken Allie Kiefer.
Yeah, and she's not letting up.
Charging away. In the sort of way, as a distance, mid-distance runner, I always get very nervous that she's forgotten how long the race is. That is anxiety-producing to me as a miler.
I hope not. Oh my God.
I do not understand sometimes the mental fortitude that it requires to run these.
There's many
these
laps
long.
left. I mean, if she continues to press on this pace, we're looking at a really fun rest of the race to watch, because let's see how quick she can go. I mean,
And there really is something to be gained by not waiting around right now. Like if you have just passed somebody of Allie Kiefer's quality, you just want to keep going.
Yeah.
You do not all of a sudden.
And that's a
slow
decisive
down.
move you need to make, right?
You make a decisive move and then you pick up the pace. You do not ask, for anything along the way. You do it, you get in, you get out. Tell me about it.
This just in.
Tell me about it.
6 laps to go. Jackie Smith drops a 74.3.
Oh my.
74.3.
We saw some of those in the 3K. We saw quite a bit of that going on earlier.
This is
shorter
no
races.
joke. Allie Kiefer still running solid. She could have just run, I don't know, she could have maybe, I don't know the split, but 70, 78, 79. But Jackie Smith is dialing it in, stepping the pace down. And this could be a really interesting last 2K here.
Well, we thought that Jackie Smith was standard hunting, right? Like we knew that was on her radar. So that standard that you need to make the Olympic trials in the 10,000 meters for the 2021 Olympics.
Yes. Fingers crossed here.
Fingers crossed, we're going with that. And so she seated herself at 32:28. That was Jackie's C time. So that was what she was targeting, was at 32:28 and 15 for change. And then we had Allie Kiefer at 32:09. So tremendous to see.
Jackie Smith, 75.3. So the last half has been at 2:29, 4:59 5-minute pace. She just came through at 25:50 for the 8K, which is blazing fast here. I'm gonna get her her 8K pace here. Yeah, so she's effectively dialed down to about a 5:12 pace. And 5:12 pace will put her at...
Mr. Wizard, what is it? What is it?
5:12 pace will put her at 32:17. So she's chasing the Olympic standard here. The U.S. standard. The U.S. standard.
They are hunting it down.
And Jackie Smith is doing good. I'm going to get Kiefer split, though.
Because Allie Kiefer still looks great.
She looks good.
She still looks great. She's moving.
Jackie moved away, and she still could potentially, if she really works this last mile, could potentially get that 30-25 standard. But
I think it's just tremendous to see this happening. You have a Jackie Smith who's looking strong, has a very bouncy stride, which we love to see in distance runners, and Allie Kiefer, who has her a different stride, but a really good one too. And it's she's notable. Like you see her and you're like, that's Allie's stride. The way you said Paula Radcliffe, and you're like, that's Paula Radcliffe's stride. Like
exactly.
It's a recognizable stride.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hers when you see it, and as fans of the sport, you recognize your favorite athlete's strides, and it's just great to see her out there.
All right, I'm gonna get. I just split Kiefer. I do want to note though, Jackie Smith, 74.7 on that last. She's running sub 5-minute pace potentially on this segment right here.
So she missed all of John Phillips's coaching advice about waiting.
Well, I mean, I said in the last 2 miles.
That's true. That's true.
If she feels good, go
this
for
is,
it.
This is
And
a dream. I
clearly
would
she
run a
feels
10K
good.
if this is what I get to do. Is this what every 10K person
I
gets to
don't
do?
think so. No, this
No,
is
this
she's
is a
putting on
rarity?
a clinic here.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, is this the 10K? Because I can sign up for this. Is that you?
She's making the 10K look
you look
very,
really
very enjoyable,
strong, and
which
then
is
you,
very difficult to do.
And then you just pick up the pace.
Yeah, yeah.
So you
Relax, run your own pace.
And
I mean,
then
this
just,
is yeah.
just run your 5-minute mile inside of a 10K.
Let's see if she gets. Let's see if she's going sub 5 on this these last 4 laps. 74.6. She's run probably about 4:58, 4:59 for
That
that last
is-
1600.
We could see potentially one of the fastest women's miles of the day tucked inside the women's
Tucked
10K.
inside the women's 10K.
This was a little bit like a couple years ago during the New York City Marathon. Mary Catani ran such a fast 5K during one of her 5K splits
Yes, that was
it was
insane.
faster
Yeah,
than the Abbott Dash to the Finish 5K national championship the day earlier.
yeah. Yes.
And it was
Yeah.
that was one of those like favorite moments where like I don't know, the women had won in like 15 something, and at one point Mary Catani in the middle of a amazing marathon had just snuck in
Yeah.
a faster
15,
5K
15 or 15:20
on
or
her way
something.
to 23 other miles.
So Kiefer did just split about 82, so she's slowing down a little bit. Might be tough to get, under 32:25, unless she really dials it in in these last.
It's true, and I have to tell you, I almost completely lost Jackie Smith on this track. You think you're going
Coming
to see
down the
where she is,
backstretch.
and then you look back up for a
2
second,
to
and she's
go.
in a completely advanced position than you think. She looks fantastic.
2 to go. 2 to go.
And 2 laps to go. 29:38.
Yeah. 29:38. 2 laps to go. She is going to run a very fast time tonight. But let's see Kiefer coming up, and now Kiefer is probably, she's going to be about 30 seconds behind. I'd
This
say.
is Allie Kiefer. 2 laps remaining.
2 laps to go for Allie. A really gutsy performance, though. I mean, it's hard to go out on that pace, execute by yourself, and again, anybody who's on the track, I don't want to do everybody gets a medal situation. but
Everybody, I'm sorry, if you run a
anybody
10K,
that's out on this track,
I have no problem with participation.
Yes,
Yeah. Because there's something different besides like I am running and the sort of running that we're seeing tonight. Like this is very intentional what these ladies are doing.
Yeah.
They're working very hard out here. Everyone gets a pass this season. There's no reason to chase anything if you don't want to, right?
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
understands if
Very
this is
intentional.
not interesting to you. But if you want to do it and you want to race, total props to any woman who steps
All right,
on this
here we
track
go.
and proceeds to fight for a 10K effort, the best one that they can produce in this season.
Jackie Smith. I mean, coming through 30:50, just ran 76.4. This is potentially somebody who's depending on the continued fitness, could be looking to be very competitive in the U.S. 10K.
Yeah, and yet we really are seeing that sort of performance here today, and that's like the really exciting thing about the sort of hiccup in the scheduling of this. I call it a hiccup, a global pandemic in the Olympic
This little
schedule.
thing that popped up.
But there's an exciting moment where people will step forward and come forward, and people will
Yep.
get to recover and heal up, and you'll get a different crowd than you would, right? And so it's
Yep.
tragic in some ways and it's exciting in other ways. And as track fans, we just love to see athletes come out and perform, and so that's what we're seeing here tonight with Jackie Smith as she comes down this straightaway. It is beautiful. She really has not faltered in her form from stride to stride, from beginning to end. For 25 laps, she has been completely ferocious and focused. She has run her own race, and she is reaping the benefit of it today. We have her at 32:08, 32:09,
32:10.
32:10 for Jackie Smith.
That was, punch the ticket to the Olympic trials. That was a fun
That
one.
was yeah.
every race did not disappoint here.
I was gonna say this was
We've
just
seen some
tremendous.
incredible performances.
I gotta find some new words to describe what I'm.
I don't know. Tremendous,
here.
incredible, beautiful. They're all the words. And Ali Kiefer coming down.
You know, this is a woman who thought that she was going to run 32:28 or was hoping to run 32:28.
Just crush. Anytime you crush the seed time is beautiful.
You crush your seed time and you're truly in rarefied air.
And Ali Kiefer coming through. A really great performance, 32:52.
And that's 32:53 unofficially.
And that was Caitlin Marino coming through with a lap. I believe everybody has a lap to go here.
And this is where in the 10K
Some
your
of the
friend
lap
is
runners.
saying, 1 to go.
1 to go, 1 to go.
Or as my teammate once experienced during a Centennial Conference Championship indoors in the 5,000 meters, the referees miscounted her laps. They told her to kick.
Yeah.
She got there and they said, no, you got to go again. And she had 3 laps that she had to kick for because they'd miscounted so terribly. So you always want to get these right.
Yeah. So we've got it.
200 meters remaining, running a solid race, coming through at approximately 33:35.
13. Who do we have coming up? Oh, okay, so we've got, I think it was Grace Mancini coming through.
Grace Mancini, number 1.
Really great performance, just a little bit above 34 minutes. Going to be about 34:08, 09. Really beautiful performance.
17:05, and that's Lindsay Trostrak, closing very strong, 34:17 to take 4th.
Lindsay Krivosharat
5th place is
taking 4th.
closing strong.
Again, the 32:08 that we just saw from Jackie, Olympic level performance. The team here putting together 34-minute performances on the 10K. Still incredibly fast and locally elite runners.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, you know,
People coming down from the marathon, from the half marathon, getting on the track and running really fast.
This is
And Marie-Ange Brumelo from
the 2:36 marathon, dropping in distance from her pace.
Yes, like a 2:36 marathoner dropping to run the 10K, runs 34, shade under 35, I believe.
that would be great to see because I think many athletes were targeting these like sort of big round numbers.
Yep.
And so when you do see somebody, not just break a, USATF standard that they need to achieve to be at the Olympic trials, but really crush it,
Yeah.
you know that they are in a great position to really go be competitive in American distance running for the women.
Yeah.
And she won't be alone. There'll be a lot of really fantastic women up there with her at the trials, but it's got to be a great confidence boost to do that now, get that standard. You can't be standard chasing so close to the Olympic trials and hope for a good result all the time, especially in these longer distances. They do take time to recover. And so for Jackie Smith to come out here and on this, night of nights, put down a performance like that is just fantastic.
Yeah. And I don't want to keep talking about the weather.
I think you do.
Because when there's nothing else to talk about, you kind of just talk about the. No, I'm kidding.
Is that what happened between us? Did we run out of things to say?
We're just weather talkers.
We finally, after 3 hours, have finally run out of things to say. Could it be?
No, it couldn't. It literally could not be more perfect conditions for a track meet. Like, these are like the nights you dream of as a track athlete to be able to come out here.
Or as a commentator.
And it's very comfortable commentating tonight.
I'm wearing a t-shirt in October. I'm a little concerned about the environment, but I'm very comfortable. So
Yes, very concerning, but very comfortable.
very concerned and comfortable at the same time. We've got women still coming across the line,
You
running
got
strong, Central Park Track Club.
Number 2, Abby Taylor, finishing up with a 36:40.
Abby Taylor, strong sub-36:45 performances.
And there is always something very sad at the end of a track meet. I always feel like we need fireworks
We should.
or a brass band.
Wait, cue the fireworks.
Or a barge on the East River to set off those
Set
fireworks.
off fireworks, yeah.
Set off those fireworks that we need. Because otherwise it is just, it's always a little anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Seen after, especially I think all the fireworks were on the track today.
They are very nice.
Zing.
Very
Thank
good
you,
segue
thank you.
into your firework analogy. Rosie Mascoli, one of our last competitors, coming through 37:17. Great effort by everyone. Again, I mean, Yeah, we're all winners here.
We're all winners.
We're all winners.
I mean, this was really a fantastic, unique, wonderful, challenging time to be an athlete, right?
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that they were able to compete in the Big City Invitational and have this opportunity.
Yep. Yeah, it's been a really, really
Fantastic time.
fantastic time.
And they are clapping
we're
here, and the
clapping our
fans fans that are here.
Number 7, Isabella Caruso, our final competitor of the night.
Enjoy the rest of your year.
And so this has been a fantastic night. I kind of can't believe that, we saw these performances that we saw today, right? I think the whole theme this whole time was how hard it is to train during a pandemic, how
Yep.
hard it is to feel connected to a race that you don't know when it's going to be.
Yep.
You don't have a schedule. Schedules are typically planned months in advance. I'm so happy that the Big City Invitational existed to
Yep.
have us do this performance. So I think a lot of athletes are really grateful
Yep.
to get to participate. We're grateful to get to commentate.
It's been very fun, Anique.
It has been very fun. It's really,
I
really.
feel like this has been a dream of ours
This
for,
has been a dream
for a
of ours.
decade.
You,
Maybe a decade.
and I just have to say to our viewers that you did not have to watch and listen to all of our John and Anique stories. We spared you for most of them because
Yes,
the races were so
you were
good.
kind tonight.
The races
The
were
races
so
were too
good
good.
that we literally were so excited that you missed about the glory days of Division III running in the early aughts, or the early 2000s or whatever. But I think, John, what are your main takeaways from today's
I mean, again,
event?
we kind of talked about it. Like, think about the silver linings of 2020, and there might not be many, but I feel like tonight for a lot of these athletes, they got to get on the track, perform, set PRs, set seasonal best, and you got to take the wins when you can get them. And I think tonight was a win. The Big City Invitational, presented by Trials Miles and Bakline, was really, really fun and a great way to spend a Friday night in October.
Yeah, and thanks to our friends at Finish Line and UCAN for coming on out and supporting and sharing their stories, and Brendan Martin, who was doing some double duty as a spokesman, physical therapist, and number 3rd.
And
metronome, human metronome.
And the human
Human
did
metronome.
play well. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate everybody watching tonight, and I hope you enjoyed it.
And 15% off.
Yes, 15% off with Big City Invitational. Go to bakline.com to get your Bakline gear. So thanks again. Appreciate it for everybody watching, and hope everybody has a great night.
It's the last round. Last set. Last mile. You can't stop. And you don't have to with UCAN. Patented superstarch nutrition keeps you at peak performance for longer than you ever thought possible. With no sugar and no fast carbs. Just pure energy. Push yourself harder, farther, stronger. When your body demands more, stay in the game longer. You can.